I collect attributes in the apocalypse. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 51, Set Up Observation Points. Look at animals. Lin Fan put down the telescope and smiled. What? Murenzhu almost thought she had misheard. I told you last time that acquired evolvers mainly rely on mutagenic factors, and this mutagenic factor exists in animals. If we can get the mutagenic factor, then there will be another evolver in our team. Lin Fan looked downstairs and landed on Murenzhu, who is walking out of the toilet. He said, for example, your sister, she also has the opportunity to become an evolver. These days, Lin Fan has been checking Murenzhu's status at any time. The column of superpowers has not changed. There is a potential superpower. As for why it has not been displayed, he thought about it carefully. It should be because Murenzhu is not an evolver yet. After all, for normal people, superpowers are something that can only be obtained after becoming an evolver. If you want Murenzhu's superpowers to be displayed, you must first let Murenzhu become an evolver. Lin Fan's words warmed Murenzhu's heart. Murenzhu was her sister. Even if Murenzhu had no ability, she would do her best to protect her. But in the doomsday, having the ability to protect oneself was more important than anything else. Lin Fan gave priority to Murenzhu becoming an evolver, which clearly showed that he treated Murenzhu as his own. Then how can we know whether an animal contains mutagenic factors? Murenzhu asked curiously. They will behave more powerfully than ordinary animals. Lin Fan gave a rough answer. In fact, as the doomsday time passed, animals with mutagenic factors in their bodies could also evolve like humans. Moreover, the color of the eyes of evolved animals would change. According to the distinction in the previous life, they were divided into red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, black and white. Each color represents a level. Red is level 1, and white is level 9. But he couldn't tell Murenzhu about these things now, otherwise it would be too advanced, so he just had to give Murenzhu a rough answer. The previous zombie outbreak probably killed many animals. It will be hard to see animals in the city in the future. We have to go to the deep mountains and forests, Murenzhu said helplessly. Maybe. This kind of thing depends on luck. If you are lucky, you can meet it. If you are unlucky, you can't meet it. Lin Fan smiled. The two of them stood in the corridor and chatted. Liu Yun was very envious of them. But Liu Yun knew that Lin Fan would not be interested in her. She could only tell herself to give up such an idea. After Lin Fan and Murenzhu chatted for a while, they came down from the corridor together. I will watch them build a cart to avoid any mistakes, Lin Fan said. Okay, Murenzhu nodded. Changshan District, Survivor Base. Peng Shang came out of the room and walked towards the conference room. At the same time, he asked someone to find Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun. 5 minutes later, Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun came to the conference room. Brother Peng, Xiaoyan said you have something to do with us, Guan Wenbin asked. Sit down and talk. Peng Shang glanced at the sofa in front of him. Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun sat on the sofa. Peng Shang gave them a cigarette each. After lighting it, he blew out a puff of smoke and said with a smile, fortunately, we prepared a lot of this stuff before, otherwise we would have nothing to smoke. For people who are addicted to smoking, not smoking is indeed a deep torture. Therefore, when arranging people to go out to collect supplies, Peng Shang specifically asked people to collect a large number of cigarettes. Shaking off the ashes, Peng Shang continued, I asked you to come here today, there is nothing else, mainly I want you to go out for a while. Where to? Du Liangjun was a little curious. Prison, Peng Shang said. Is it the prison where Lin Fan and the others are staying? Du Liangjun's eyes flashed with doubt. Yes, Peng Shang blew out a smoke ring again. Every evolver in the doomsday is an absolute resource. If our survivor base wants to develop and grow better, and even gradually help everyone resume normal life before the doomsday, it must have strong enough strength. So, I want you to find Lin Fan again. No matter what he asks, let him come here first. Even if he still has to go to Anzhou City to find his sister, we can provide help. He is very ambitious. In his conception, if possible, he even wants to create a new doomsday empire. And the king of this new doomsday empire is naturally none other than Peng Shang. Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun did not know what Peng Shang was thinking deep in his heart. Hearing Peng Shuang say this, they felt that Peng Shuang was really a person who cherished talents. He could also think of helping to arrange people to go to Anzhou City with Lin Fan. Such a move was really impeccable. Brother Peng, since you said so, then the two of us will go to find Lin Fan. We will definitely do our best to win Lin Fan over to become a member of the survivor base, Du Liangjun said heroically. Okay, then you guys should set off now. Be careful on the road, don't be careless. After all, there are probably a lot of evolved zombies in the city now, so you must pay attention to safety, Peng Shuang warned. Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun nodded, just finished smoking the cigarettes in their hands, then got up and left a meeting room, and drove towards the prison. At night, the two returned to the survivors' base and went to see Peng Shuang as soon as possible. How is it? How did the talk go? Peng Shuang asked hurriedly. Brother Peng, after we went there, we found that there was no one in the prison, and even the door was open. I think they should have set off for Anzhou City after the zombie outbreak ended, Guan Wenbin reported. Hearing this, Peng Shuang couldn't help but show a hint of disappointment on his face. Du Liangjun thought for a moment and said, Brother Peng, if they are heading to Anzhou City and taking the highway, then maybe we can set up a point to observe them. We just don't know if they have already passed by. Regardless of whether they have passed by or not, it's not wrong to set up a point to observe them. By the way, we can also notice the movements of zombies in advance. Once there is another zombie outbreak, we can also prepare in advance. Peng Shuang accepted Du Liangjun's opinion and ordered, this matter is still left to you two to do. By the way, clean up the zombies around. Sooner or later, our survivor base will expand its territory. Okay, Brother Peng, we will arrange it now. Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun got up and left to carry out Peng Shuang's orders. Peng Shuang took out another cigarette, lit it and smoked it, and then returned to his room. Looking at the beauty in the room, he showed an evil smile on his face and continued his happy life tonight. Chapter 52 completed. In the next few days, at the Caixing Auto Repair Factory, Lin Fan and others worked on building cars every day. As Chen Xianlong said, Lin Hongke and others are indeed professional auto repairmen with rich experience in this area. With Lin Fan's supervision and guidance, the work of building cars can be said to be going very smoothly. In a blink of an eye, 4 days passed. At noon, the sun was shining brightly. When Lin Hongke put down the wrench in his hand and wiped the sweat from his forehead, he turned and walked to Lin Fan and said, Brother Fan, we've done it, come and check it out. Although Lin Fan is much younger than him, Lin Fan is someone that Chen Xianlong respects, so it's natural for him to call Lin Fan brother. Lin Fan nodded and followed him, and Wang Jianwei and others followed. Looking at the large RV in front of him that has been fully transformed, Wang Jianwei couldn't help but sigh. This is completely the feeling of an armored vehicle. Yes, with such a car driving, there is no need to be afraid of those zombies at all, Wang Ximing said. Although Zhang Yuanzheng, Chen Xianlong and others did not speak, it can be seen from their eyes that they were also full of surprise at this remodeled RV. This RV has been reinforced as a whole, especially the thick iron plate added on the outside of the car body. It can not only defend against zombies without any problems, but even bullets may not be able to penetrate it. In terms of power, it has also been enhanced. Even if the weight of the car body has increased a lot, it will not lack power when driving. As for the interior of the RV, in order to make this space appear larger, some of the previous structures have been basically eliminated, and only the toilet has been retained. If people want to rest inside, they only need to lay a blanket on the surface. In this way, the space for stacking supplies is also saved. Not bad, I am very satisfied, Lin Fan smiled slightly. Hearing this, Lin Hongke and others were relieved. Even though Lin Fan has been supervising and guiding them these days, they are afraid that something has not been done well and will cause Lin Fan's dissatisfaction. Now it seems that this transformation has been completely passed and has come to an end. What are your plans next? Are you going to stay here? Lin Fan looked at Lin Hongke and asked. Lin Hongke couldn't make up his mind about this matter, and looked at Chen Xianlong. In fact, at this time, Chen Xianlong didn't know what to say. These brothers used to follow him, and when he was the boss, he would naturally ensure their food, clothing, housing and transportation. But now Lin Fan is the leader of the team, and he must obey Lin Fan's orders and arrangements. Lin Fan could see what Chen Xianlong was thinking, and said in a deep voice, we still have to go to Anzhou City, and I can't guarantee your safety. However, I know a survivor base where thousands of survivors gather. If you don't want to stay here, then I can take you to the survivor base. Survivor base? Thousands of people? Hearing this news, Lin Hongke and others all had joy in their eyes. Although Kaixing Auto Repair Factory is a good place, if they continue to stay here, no one can guarantee whether the gate of the auto repair factory can withstand the zombie tide when the zombie tide breaks out next time. If they can go to the survivor base where thousands of people gather, it is really the best choice for them. Lin Hongke and others looked at each other and nodded excitedly in agreement. Okay, since you are willing to go to the survivor base, go pack up now. We will set off after you finish packing. We will send you to the survivor base first and then go to Anzhou City, Lin Fan said. Okay, Brother Fan, we will pack up right away, Lin Hongke responded, and then went back to the room with the others to pack up. The whole process was very fast. In less than 5 minutes, all of them had packed up. You drive 2 cars and follow behind our car, Lin Fan said. The auto repair shop lacked everything except cars. Lin Hongke and others quickly drove 2 SUVs over. Let's go, we will get in the car too, Lin Fan waved his hand. The group walked into the RV and found a seat to sit down. Haha, just sitting in this car, I feel very safe, Wang Jianwei laughed. Zhang Yuanzhang and others also smiled. Although the car was so airtight that the light transmittance was not very good, compared with safety, light transmittance was naturally not that important. Jianwei, I have a backpack with playing cards in it. If you are bored, you can play some, Lin Fan said, then started the RV and drove out of the auto repair shop. Damn, there are playing cards. That's great. I can play cards when I am bored in the future, Wang Jianwei said excitedly. Before the doomsday, there are too many entertainment options. But when the doomsday comes, people have very few entertainment options. Isn't it a kind of happiness to be able to play cards? He quickly took out the playing cards from his backpack and played landlord with Zhang Yuanzhang and Chen Xianlong. With this RV leading the way, Lin Fan didn't need to avoid the wandering zombies on the road. He drove directly into them. The zombies were either knocked away or crushed, and they didn't have any blocking effect at all. The 2 cars driven by Lin Hongke and others followed the RV. It can be said that they are absolutely safe, and there is no need to worry about any unexpected situations. Changshan District, next to the entrance of the highway. Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun set up an observation point here with more than 20 people from the survivor base. It's been a few days, and we still haven't seen any cars passing by. Could it be that Lin Fan and his team didn't plan to take the highway at all? Guan Wenbin said. Since the day Peng Shuang asked them to come here to set up a post, they have been guarding here almost every step of the way. They even took turns to rest when sleeping, and there were always people watching around. Even the zombies around were cleaned up by them in the past few days. If we don't take the highway, we will take a detour, which will at least delay us by twice as much. We shouldn't take a detour without even taking a look. Du Liangjun glanced at the highway intersection. The reason why they can be sure that there are no cars passing here is because the barrier is still lying there normally, which is enough to show that there has been no car passing there since the doomsday outbreak. If there is a car passing by, the barrier will definitely be knocked off. Then wait for another day and see. If there is no trace after another day, we can go back to the base. At that time, we have to continue to search for other survivors. We can't delay here forever, Guan Wenbin said. Okay, Du Liangjun nodded slightly. However, just as they finished speaking, a car appeared at the end of their sight, driving towards them at a moderate speed. Chapter 53 Waiting for you here. What kind of car is that? Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun were stunned the moment they saw the car. They could swear that they had never seen such a car in their lives for so many years. They felt that they were fully armed. It should be a modified car. Du Liangjun took a deep breath. It's too well modified. With such a car, how can you be afraid of zombies? Guan Wenbin couldn't help but sigh. Especially when he said this, the car just ran over more than a dozen zombies on the road. Do you want to say hello to them? Du Liangjun asked. Yes, Guan Wenbin nodded, at least get to know the situation first. The two walked out of the temporary base and stood on the road. Lin Fan saw Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun in the car, and was a little confused. He didn't understand why these 2 guys happened to appear here. However, since he was going to send people to the survivor base, if he met Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun here, he could say hello in advance. Because the windshield in front of the car has been specially treated, a layer of protective iron net has been added. Therefore, the situation outside can be seen clearly from the car, but it is difficult to see the situation inside the car from the outside. Seeing the car coming, Guan Wenbin stretched out his hand and waved, signaling to stop. Lin Fan stepped on the brakes and heard Guan Wenbin outside saying, "Friends in the car, we have no ill intentions. If it is convenient, please get off the car and talk." The car door opened. Lin Fan walked out of the car, and smiled faintly. "What do you two want to talk about, Lin Fan?" When Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun saw Lin Fan's appearance clearly, they all showed incredible expressions on their faces. They never thought that the person in the car was Lin Fan. "Haha, are you two here to stop the car?" Lin Fan asked with a smile. "Of course not, we are waiting for you here," Guan Wenbin said. "Wait for me?" Lin Fan was stunned. "Yes." Guan Wenbin quickly told Lin Fan the whole story. After listening, Lin Fan shook his head helplessly. "We left the prison on the first day after the zombie outbreak ended. You will definitely not be able to find me if you go there." At this time, Wang Jianwei and others and Lin Hongke and others also walked out of the car. Du Liangjun took a look and said, "Your team has so many people. Speaking of this, I just happen to have something to tell you. I was planning to go to the survivor base to find you, but I didn't expect to meet you here." Lin Fan looked at Lin Hongke and others and told them that they wanted to stay in the survivor base. "No problem, our base was originally established for survivors. Anyone who wants to stay can stay." Du Liangjun patted his chest and promised. "Are you still going to Anzhou City?" Guan Wenbin asked. "Yes." Lin Fan glanced in the direction of Anzhou City. "Brother Lin Fan, if you want to go find your sister, we will definitely not stop you, but since we have met here, let's go to our survivor base and sit for a while. It's not far and we will be there soon," Guan Wenbin said cheerfully. "It's not easy to get to know each other. You went to Anzhou City this time, and I don't know when we will meet next time. I just happen to have 2 bottles of wine. Let's have a drink today." "Yes, Brother Lin Fan, let's go to the base to have a drink. It's only 5 kilometers away. All the zombies around here have been cleaned up by us. It will take only a few minutes to drive there." Du Liangjun also expressed enthusiastically. "Okay, let's go and take a look." Lin Fan nodded in agreement. He will also establish his own power in the future. The fact that the survivor base was able to be quickly established at the beginning of the Doomsday outbreak and successfully survive the first zombie outbreak is enough to show that there is something extraordinary about it. It is a good choice to take a walk and see if you can accumulate some experience in the base. Seeing Lin Fan nod, Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun were both happy. "I'll drive over." "Wait for a moment," Guan Wenbin said, and turned to drive. Du Liangjun looked at the modified RV in front of him and sighed. "Brother Lin Fan, this car is really perfect. With it, as long as you don't encounter evolved zombies, you can run rampant, almost. As long as you are trapped in a circle of too many zombies, you can crush the zombies and break out." Lin Fan smiled. "You have been building this car these days?" Du Liangjun asked. "Yes, after all, the distance to Anzhou City is not close. If you don't have a good car, it will be very troublesome on the way," Lin Fan said. "This is it." As soon as Du Liangjun finished speaking, Guan Wenbin drove the car over. "Get in the car." After Du Liangjun got in the car, Lin Fan and others also got back in the car. The 4 cars set off together and rushed to the survivor base. Outside the gate of the survivor base, someone was specially responsible for guarding. Seeing 4 cars coming, they immediately aroused their vigilance. However, when Guan Wenbin greeted them, they did not stop them. 4 cars drove into the survivor base, attracting a lot of attention. Their eyes were undoubtedly focused on the modified RV. "What kind of car is this? It's too domineering, isn't it? Damn, driving a car like this outside. What, are you afraid of zombies? It feels like a tank." "No. Tanks are not this long. It's amazing." Everyone was talking about it. For them, this modified car was full of curiosity and attraction. After Guan Wenbin's car drove to an open area and stopped, Lin Fan and others got out of the car one after another. However, before getting off the car, Lin Fan told Jiang Yuanzheng, Chen Xianlong and Wang Jianwei to leave one person in the car at any time to guard against others. There are so many resources in this car. If they are lost, it will be an incomparable loss. After all, the people in this survivor base trust Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun the most, and have never had contact with the others. Jiang Yuanzhang and the other two naturally understood the seriousness of the problem. They even unanimously decided that except for the time they came down to get some fresh air, the three of them would all stay in the car to guard it. This was the safest way. At the same time, another evolver came to Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun and asked, "Are they the survivors you brought back?" "Some are, and some are our friends who came to get together," Guan Wenbin said. "Is that so?" The man nodded and reminded, "But you'd better say hello to Brother Peng." "Don't worry, we know that there is a friend that Brother Peng wants to meet." Guan Wenbin smiled. "Oh? Brother Peng wants to meet? Who?" The man's eyes were full of confusion. "Lin Fan." Guan Wenbin looked at Lin Fan and briefly introduced him. Chapter 54 Peng Shuang's Plan. This man usually has a good relationship with Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun, otherwise they wouldn't have said so much to him. After the introduction, Guan Wenbin looked at Lin Fan and said, "Let's go meet Brother Peng first." "Okay," Lin Fan nodded. "Aren't they going?" Guan Wenbin looked at Jiang Yuanzhang and the other two. "Don't worry about them," Lin Fan smiled. Guan Wenbin didn't think much about it, then waved his hand and called a person from the survivor base to come over, asking them to take Lin Hongke and others down first, and arrange accommodation for Lin Hongke and others. Then, Lin Fan, Murongsu, Murongshan, Liu Yun, Zhang Xintong and Wang Zhaiming, a total of 6 people, followed Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun to the meeting room of the survivor base. Not long after they entered the meeting room, a man walked in from outside. This man was Peng Shuang. "Brother Peng," Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun greeted. Then, Guan Wenbin introduced again, "Brother Peng, this is Lin Fan, Brother Lin Fan, welcome to our survivor base. I heard Wenbin and Liangjun mention you before, and I have always wanted to meet you. I also asked them to look for you at your previous place, but they couldn't find you. Today I finally have a chance to meet you." Peng Shuang walked over with a smile and held out his hand to Lin Fan. On the surface, he was very enthusiastic. But his eyes couldn't help but feel amazed when he swept over Murongsu and others. He didn't expect that there were so many beautiful women in Lin Fan's team. You know, in his survivor base, more than 1,000 women can't pick out a top-notch one. And Lin Fan sighed, 4 appeared at once, especially Murongsu, who is the most outstanding. Of course, he was able to get to this point today, but he would not act like some fools who had never seen a woman. His eyes just swept over Murongsu and others, without staying too long. "Hello, Mr. Peng." Lin Fan stretched out his hand and shook hands with Peng Shuang, while reading data with a ring. Species, human level, level 1 strength. 6 speed. 5 reaction. 5 superpower, none. Peng Shuang's data information appeared in Lin Fan's sight. Through these data, Lin Fan immediately had a rough assessment of Peng Shuang's strength. It must be said that this guy's evolution speed is indeed quite fast. With a ring and the ability to pick up attributes, his current data is only 5, while Peng Shuang's strength data has reached 6. His strength is indeed very strong. No wonder he can become the leader of this survivor base. However, data is one aspect, but experience is still another. In this case where the data gap is not big, Lin Fan is not without confidence to defeat Peng Shuang. "Haha, Brother Lin Fan, please sit down. Let's sit down and talk. I have asked someone to prepare food, and after it's ready, we will have a good drink." Peng Shuang still entertained him warmly. After both parties sat down, Peng Shuang seemed to ask casually, "I heard from Wenbin and Liangjun that you are going to Anzhao City." "Yes, my sister is over there. I must go to find her." Lin Fan nodded. "Will you come back after you go?" Peng Shuang asked. Maybe, maybe not. It depends on the situation," Lin Fan smiled. When he heard this, a subtle strange color flashed in Peng Shuang's eyes. His purpose was to keep Lin Fan in the survivor base, not to hear Lin Fan's ambiguous answer. "It's a long way from here to Anzhao City. Brother Lin Fan, are you fully prepared?" Peng Shuang asked with a smile. Before Lin Fan could speak, Guan Wenbin said, "Brother Peng, Lin Fan and his team have modified a car. With that car, they will have no problem going to Anzhao City." Although Peng Shuang had not seen the modified RV, he still trusted Guan Wenbin's judgment. Guan Wenbin said so, which meant that the car was indeed powerful. "I wanted to keep you here, and we would work together to develop and expand the survivor base and strive to restore normal order as soon as possible. Now it seems that this will become a pity." Peng Shuang showed a regretful expression. If Lin Fan was still the simple little man in his previous life, he would definitely be deceived by Peng Shuang's acting skills. Unfortunately, he has lived 2 lives, and his experience in judging people is not necessarily worse than Peng Shuang. From Peng Shuang's expression, he keenly captured some unusual aura. But at this time, he still had to keep up the appearance. After talking for a while, Peng Shuang left on the pretext of something, and asked Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun to stay with Lin Fan and others, saying that everyone would get together for a drink after dinner. 3 people gathered in a spacious room. Among these 3 people, one was Peng Shuang, and the other 2 were his most trusted men, named Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru. Peng Shuang talked about the plan in his mind. After listening, Sun Yongke narrowed his eyes and said, "Brother Peng, do you mean that we should take them down completely during the meal and not give them a chance to leave?" "Yes, that's what I mean." A fierce look flashed in Peng Shuang's eyes. "We kindly let them stay and develop together, but they didn't appreciate it and insisted on going to Anzhou City. If they don't accept our toast, then don't blame us for being ruthless." Peng Shuang's principle of doing things is that if they can't be used by him, it's better to get rid of them. This can also avoid being his enemy in the future. He has learned from Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun that Lin Fan's strength is not simple. It's not that he is worried that he can't deal with Lin Fan, but he is worried that Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun will help Lin Fan for the sake of friendship after knowing his plan. The survivor base needs manpower and evolvers. He can't get rid of Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun at this time. Therefore, he found Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru to prevent this situation from happening, so that the 2 of them can help stop Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun. "Okay, Brother Peng, well, I'll follow you anyway. We'll do whatever you say and follow your arrangements," Sun Yongke said. Hu Yongru nodded in approval. In their opinion, following people like Peng Shuang will allow them to live a good life in the apocalypse. "Haha, good brothers, don't worry. After we take them down, all the women in their team will belong to us." Peng Shuang reached out and patted Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru on the shoulders. A lustful smile appeared on his face, and he said, "Those girls are really fucking top-notch, especially the prettiest one. She's no worse than those female stars on TV before. We can play with them however we want." Hearing Peng Shuang's words, Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru also showed evil smiles on their faces. This is the main reason why they want to follow Peng Shuang all the time, because Peng Shuang has really never treated them badly when it comes to women. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55 Bearing Fangs. The sun soon hung at the end of the sky, and the afterglow of the sunset shone on the earth. Soon someone came to the conference room, looked at Guan Wenbin and said, "Brother Guan, we have arranged the food. Brother Peng asked me to inform you." "Okay, we will go there right away." Guan Wenbin nodded, looked at Lin Fan and said, "Brother Lin Fan, let's go drink." A group of people walked out of the conference room. Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun walked in front to lead the way, and Lin Fan and others followed behind. Taking this opportunity, Lin Fan came to Murengzu's side without a trace and whispered, "Be careful later. If anything happens, you are responsible for protecting them." "What?" Murengzu was slightly stunned. She obviously didn't notice the unusual situation. "I have a bad premonition. It's hard to say specifically. Anyway, pay attention to acting according to the situation," Lin Fan reminded. At this time, it was indeed not convenient for him to express his specific opinions. What's more, he might make a mistake in judgment. If Peng Shuang did not take any action, it would naturally be the best result. Seeing Lin Fan speak so seriously, Murengzu nodded and instantly became alert. The survivor base itself was the former armed police force. It was well equipped with all kinds of equipment and the dining area was convenient. Originally, Murengzu was planning to see if her father's former friend was there, but after coming here and seeing the situation here, she gave up the idea. After all, at a glance, it was obvious that these survivors were people who had fled from outside. Perhaps this armed police force was doomed to cease to exist at the moment of the doomsday outbreak, and was infected too thoroughly by zombies. When they arrived at the dining area, Peng Shuang invited Lin Fan and others to take a seat, and also introduced Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru to Lin Fan. Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun were somewhat puzzled when they saw Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru were still there. They all knew that Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru were the people Peng Shuang favored the most, including many important matters of the survivor base, which were sometimes handed over to Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru. Now, when entertaining Lin Fan and others, he did not invite other survivors from the base, but called Sun Young-K and Hu Yang-Gru. This had to make them feel strange. But this kind of out and surprise only lasted for a moment. After all, they would never have thought that Peng Shuang would force Lin Fan and others to stay. As for Sun Young-K and Hu Yang-Gru, the only thing they are sure of now is that they must capture Lin Fan and others no matter what. Not for anything else, but for Murong Zhu, Murong Shan, Zhang Xintong and Liu Yun. The four women made their blood boil. This is the Maute we found when we went out to search. Peng Shuang looked at the 3 bottles of Maute on the table and said, "The end of the world is coming. These things are all a little less, but it is worth drinking to meet friends like brother Lin Fan." As soon as the voice fell, Peng Shuang opened the wine for Sun Young-K and Hu Yang-Gru. Lin Fan glanced at the dishes on the table and was a little surprised that this survivor base had so many delicious foods in stock. After the wine was poured, Peng Shuang raised his glass. "Brother Lin Fan, come on, let's drink this one." "Okay, cheers." Lin Fan also raised his glass. As the saying goes, don't hit a smiling person. Peng Shuang's performance at this time was not abnormal. There were still some problems on the scene that needed to be dealt with. Murong Zhu, Murong Shan, Zhang Xintong and Liu Yun, the 4 women did not drink, only Lin Fan and Wang Zhiming were drinking. The physical fitness of the evolvers in all aspects is stronger than that of ordinary people, and their alcohol tolerance has naturally increased. The 3 bottles of wine were quickly drunk. "Brother Peng, brother Lin Fan, I still have 2 bottles, you wait, I'll go get them," Guan Wenbin said. "You kid also hides good wine, go get it quickly, let's get drunk today," Peng Shuang said heroically. Guan Wenbin smiled, got up and walked out the door. After Guan Wenbin left, Peng Shuang turned his eyes to Lin Fan and said, "Brother Lin Fan, I'm telling you the truth. Don't be angry. The doomsday has been going on for a week. Regardless of whether your sister is still alive, even if she is, how can you be sure to find her after you go there? It's possible that she left Anzhou City when the doomsday broke out. Personally, I think you can stay here first, and when our survivor base grows stronger, we can arrange more people to help find her. What do you think?" Peng Shuang was making the final test. If Lin Fan agreed to stay at this time, he wouldn't have to turn against him now. At least Lin Fan had the strength. If he could use Lin Fan to do things for him, it would definitely be a good choice. If Lin Fan still refused, then there was naturally nothing to consider. Just kill Lin Fan and occupy Murong Zhu and the others. Mr. Peng, thank you very much for your kindness, but we still have to go to Anzhou City. I'm always worried if I don't go and find her myself. Lin Fan shook his head. What do you mean? Our brother Peng tried so hard to keep you, but you don't even give him face. Sun Young-K glared at Lin Fan, as if he was going to fight him if he didn't agree with him. As soon as he said this, Du Liangjun, Murong Shan, Zhang Xintong, Wang Zhiming and Liu Yun were all stunned. They all felt the anger from his luck. Only Murong Zhu was relatively calm. She understood why Lin Fan had warned her before. It was probably because Lin Fan had already guessed that today's meal was not simple. Thinking of this, she admired Lin Fan even more. They didn't see the trick, but Lin Fan saw it. Brother Lin Fan didn't mean that. It was a misunderstanding. It was all a misunderstanding. It's just that brother Lin Fan really wanted to go find his sister. He definitely didn't give brother Peng face, Du Liangjun said hurriedly. Du Liangjun still didn't see through Peng Shuang's true thoughts, but he had already regarded Lin Fan as a true friend. Naturally, he didn't want Lin Fan to be dissatisfied here because of a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Sun Young-K sneered and said, Du Liangjun, don't forget that you are following brother Peng. This guy doesn't give brother Peng face, and you still want to defend him and say it's a misunderstanding. Do you also want to leave the base, brother Sun? What do you mean by this? Du Liangjun frowned. Before Sun Young-K could speak, Lin Fan's voice slowly spread. Their meaning is very clear. They want to force us to stay. If we don't stay, then they will take certain actions and measures, and these actions and measures may include killing me. At this point, Lin Fan paused slightly, then looked at Peng Shuang. Mr. Peng? Tell me, is my analysis right or wrong? Chapter 56 The battle begins. As soon as Lin Fan finished speaking, the atmosphere in the whole room became frozen. Peng Shuang's eyes met Lin Fan's. After 3 seconds, he suddenly smiled and clapped his hands, saying, You are smart enough to discover my true intention so quickly. To be honest, if you are willing to stay, you are indeed a talent worth cultivating. It's a pity that you made the wrong choice, and there is a price to pay for making the wrong choice. This price may very well be your life. At this point, Peng Xiang no longer needed to hide anything. Lin Fan's answer just now had already given a clear answer. What he had to do next was nothing more than killing Lin Fan. Brother Peng, Du Liangjun looked at Peng Xiang in disbelief, and said in astonishment, Brother Lin Fan wants to go find his relatives. What's wrong with that? The concept of our survivor base is to help people, not to kill people. Du Liangjun, don't forget who you are talking to. Peng Xiang's eyes condensed, and sneered, I know more about the rules than you do. I have the final say on whether to kill or not. Du Liangjun, don't talk nonsense anymore. Brother Peng doesn't intend to deal with you because of your previous contributions, but don't be ungrateful, Sun Yongke shouted angrily. He was ready. As long as Du Liangjun dared to help Lin Fan, he could stop Du Liangjun at any time. Peng Xiang ignored Du Liangjun, turned his eyes, looked at Lin Fan, and said, in my territory, you don't even have the qualifications to resist, especially you. If you surrender immediately, you can still avoid some physical pain. Haha, are you so sure of your strength? Lin Fan smiled. Peng Xiang didn't expect Lin Fan to act so relaxed. He tapped his fingers on the table and said, if I can't take you down here, then I, Peng Xiang, don't deserve to sit in this position. Yes, you really don't deserve to sit there. I'm sorry to tell you that you made a very wrong decision. Lin Fan's eyes flashed with a sneer. I hope you can say such a wrong thing again later. Peng Xiang's face was filled with murderous intent. He slapped his palm on the table heavily, stood up and shouted, go, take them down. The moment he finished speaking, he rushed towards Lin Fan first. From Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun, he had learned that Lin Fan's strength was stronger than that of ordinary evolvers. Therefore, he had to deal with Lin Fan himself. You are too much. Du Liangjun saw the situation in front of him and was immediately angry. He wanted to help Lin Fan. Du Liangjun, do you think you can intervene? Sun Yongke raised the corner of his mouth, appeared in front of Du Liangjun, and stretched out his hand to stop Du Liangjun. You? Du Liangjun didn't expect Sun Yongke to stop him, and his face turned very ugly. Although they were both level 1 evolvers, Sun Yongke was stronger than him. If they really fought, he could only hold Sun Yongke back, but he would never be able to defeat him. While Du Liangjun and Sun Yongke were confronting each other, Peng Xiang and Hu Yongru had already rushed to Lin Fan on the other side. While Guan Wenbin hadn't come back yet, the two of them were ready to join forces to deal with Lin Fan and end the battle quickly. Lin Fan, I'll deal with this guy, Murenzhu had already prepared. She flashed and came to Lin Fan's side, facing Hu Yongru head-on. Bang! Murenzhu clenched her jade hands and punched out. Hu Yongru subconsciously stretched out his hand to block. The two collided and made a bang. Hu Yongru squatted down, his face froze, and he subconsciously shook his hands. Looking at Murenzhu, he said in surprise, you are also an evolver, what? Can't I? Murenzhu mocked. It seems that I underestimated your team before. I didn't expect that there are 2 evolvers. Interesting. Peng Xiang was also very surprised that Murenzhu was an evolver. He had always thought that Murenzhu was a beautiful vase. Now it seems that this is not only not a beautiful vase, but also a rose with thorns. However, a rose with thorns is more interesting to play with, and it can arouse his desire to conquer. You have no chance to get out of here today. Peng Xiang laughed loudly, continued to rush forward, came to Lin Fan, and punched him hard. His strength data has reached 6. This punch seems ordinary, but if it falls on an ordinary person, it can definitely kill an ordinary person in seconds. Facing Peng Xiang's attack, Lin Fan naturally would not take it lightly. He turned his body to the side, using his little advantage in reaction and speed to avoid Peng Xiang's fist. Peng Xiang was not surprised by Lin Fan's evasion. After his punch missed, he smiled coldly and hit Lin Fan with another hook. Bang! Lin Fan did not dodge this time. He stretched out his hand and slapped Peng Xiang's arm. There was also a dull sound. Then, Lin Fan launched a counterattack and fought fiercely with Peng Xiang. Bang! Bang! The fight between the two of them can be said to be a fist-to-flesh fight. Every collision had an extremely heavy dull sound. Muren Shan, Zhang Zintong, Wang Zhaiming and Liu Yun were all ordinary people. In this level of battle, they could not help at all and could only stand by and watch. Even if they wanted to leave the room, they had no chance at all. Because, when they looked through the window just now, They had seen people guarding outside the room. Even Guan Wenbin had not come back for so long, and he might have been held back by the people arranged by Peng Xiong. Beauty, your strength is not my opponent. I advise you to surrender obediently, so as not to hurt you with fists and feet. Your face is so beautiful, I still feel a little bit reluctant. Hu Yongru's eyes were filled with evil smiles, and his eyes were fixed on Yuanzhu. Although his speed and reaction data are still 4, his strength data has reached 5, and he has rich combat experience. It is indeed difficult for Yuanzhu to defeat him. At most, she can play the role of delaying him like Du Liangjin. Therefore, in this contest between the two sides, which side can win depends on who is more powerful, Lin Fan or Peng Xiong. The two of them are the key to the outcome of this battle. I want to see how good your physical strength is and how long you can last. Peng Xiong laughed grimly and attacked Lin Fan again. He didn't believe that Lin Fan's physical strength would be better than his. As long as he waited until Lin Fan's physical strength was exhausted, he could take Lin Fan down at the fastest speed. Bang! The battle continued, and the sound was endless. As time went on, the smile on Peng Xiong's face had long disappeared. He didn't expect that Lin Fan would not play a protracted war with him at all, but would find many suitable opportunities to counterattack. Until now, he actually has a tendency to fall into disadvantage. Chapter 57 Kill All. Lin Fan's data is not as high as Peng Xiong's, but it does not mean that he cannot beat Peng Xiong. Whether in terms of combat experience or the use of moves, Peng Xiong cannot compare. After all, having experienced the end of a lifetime, Lin Fan's accumulated combat experience at the beginning of the outbreak of the end of this lifetime can be said to be richer than anyone else. What's more, the data gap between him and Peng Xiong is not large. With such a small gap, combat experience can completely make up for it. Bang! Taking advantage of the gap when Peng Xiong's attack missed, Lin Fan saw the opportunity, clenched his fist, and hit Peng Xiong's chest hard. Such a strong punch was obviously not very comfortable for Peng Xiong, and he couldn't control himself and took 2 steps back. Lin Fan did not intend to give Peng Xiong a chance to ease up. He took advantage of his illness to kill him. He rushed forward, jumped up, bent his knees, and his knees firmly pressed against Peng Xiong's stomach. A dull sound mixed with a cry of pain spread out, and Peng Xiong flew backwards like a kite with a broken string, drawing a parabola in the air before falling heavily to the ground. Brother Peng, Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru saw Peng Xiong fall to the ground, their eyes widened, and their faces were incredulous. They had sparred with Peng Xiong before, but even if the two of them joined forces, they were no match for Peng Xiong, let alone fighting Peng Xiong alone. In any case, they did not expect that Peng Xiong would be defeated by Lin Fan. Lin Fan took another step forward and stepped on him. Seeing this, Peng Xiong did not have time to think about it and raised his arms to resist. Bang! However, at this critical moment, Lin Fan suddenly changed the direction of his step. He was originally going to step on Peng Xiong's chest, but he changed and stepped directly on Peng Xiong's stomach. Ah! Peng Xiong screamed in pain. The step made him feel a mess of intestines, and his upper body subconsciously lifted up. Bang! When he raised his head, Lin Fan clenched his fist, bent his waist, and smashed his fist down hard, hitting his nose. The bridge of the nose could not withstand such an attack at all, and it broke with a click. Bang! 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 Lin Fan did not stop, and continued to clench his fist and punch quickly, each punch hitting Peng Xiong's head. After more than 10 punches fell, Peng Xiong's head was already swollen, and his breath slowly stopped. He looked at Lin Fan weakly, opened his mouth slightly to say something, but in the end, he couldn't say a word. It was not until the moment of death that Peng Xiong felt regretful. He regretted why he was an enemy of Lin Fan, regretted why he was greedy, and regretted why he forced Lin Fan to stay. If he could do it again, he would never make these decisions that would kill him. You killed Brother Peng. Sun Yongke looked at Peng Xiong's motionless body on the ground, and the shock in his heart could no longer be expressed in words. Hu Yongru was also shocked. They knew how strong Peng Xiong was. Lin Fan could even kill Peng Xiong in a one-on-one fight. If he came to deal with them, they would have no chance of survival. Let us go, we will listen to your arrangements. Hu Yongru stopped fighting with Yuanzhu and said to Lin Fan without hesitation. When Peng Xiong was alive, he would naturally listen to Peng Xiong. But now that Peng Xiong is dead, he doesn't want to follow in Peng Xiong's footsteps. Hearing this, Sun Yongke also hurriedly said, "We were blind just now, please give us a chance to make up for our mistakes." Facing the shroud of death, no one would not feel afraid. They can become evolvers, and as long as nothing unexpected happens, they will definitely live a life of superiority in the future. How can they be willing to die now? You admit your mistakes very quickly. Lin Fan glanced at Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru, and said with a smile, but unfortunately, I don't need people like you to do things for me, even if you are evolvers. Are you determined to kill us? Hu Yongru's expression changed drastically. He thought that if the two of them surrendered sincerely, Lin Fan would give them a chance to live because of their strength, so that they could find a chance to leave here privately. He never expected that Lin Fan would be unmoved by their surrender. The decision you made from the beginning means that you are determined to die. Lin Fan smiled faintly. Boy. If you want us to die, then you must be prepared to break your teeth, Hu Yongru shouted angrily. No need to say more to him, at worst we will fight to the death. Sun Yongke quickly went to Hu Yongru's side, and the two were ready to fight side by side. Haha, the fish will die, but the net will not break. Lin Fan's eyes flashed with a sneer, and then he didn't say any more nonsense, and moved his body and rushed towards Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru. Seeing Lin Fan's move, Murenzhu naturally would not stand there and watch the show, and also followed Lin Fan forward. Sun Yongke and Hu Yongru were equally strong, and were stronger than Murenzhu and Du Liangjun, but compared to Lin Fan, their strength was not enough. While Murenzhu was holding Hu Yongru back, Lin Fan got rid of Sun Yongke at the fastest speed. Bang! With a leap, Lin Fan rushed forward, raised his foot and kicked hard behind Hu Yongru's knee. With the sound of broken bones, Hu Yongru's body could not support and he knelt on the ground. Goodbye. Lin Fan moved his elbow and hit Hu Yongru's back of the head hard. With a bang, Hu Yongru spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground, no longer moving. Peng Shong and the other two were all killed. Du Liangjun was shocked watching from the side. The strength and decisiveness shown by Lin Fan far exceeded his expectations. But soon he thought of another problem and said quickly, Brother Lin Fan, before others find out that Peng Shong and the others are dead, you should take the opportunity to leave here. Otherwise, when the rest of the survivors know about it, it may cause unnecessary trouble. In any case, Peng Shong is the leader of this survivor base, and Peng Shong's death cannot but have an impact. Lin Fan looked at Du Liangjun and shook his head. In this world now, strength is respected. Whoever is stronger has absolute right to speak. Although Peng Shong was the leader of this survivor base before, he is now dead, and he died in my hands. For those who stay here, their only thought is to stay alive, not to care who leads them. This kind of thinking will take a long time to change, so, there is no need to worry about this problem. Lin Fan saw this very clearly. If a leader died, could another leader rise? The law of the jungle, the survival of the fittest, is the kingly way of survival in the doomsday. He could just take this opportunity to take over this survivor base. Chapter 58. Those who don't accept it come to challenge. Although Lin Fan will not stay at the survivor base for now, he can develop it into one of his forces in the future. At worst, he can just reorganize it. This is a long-term goal and plan, and we can start laying the groundwork and preparations now. Lin Fan's words made Du Liangjun feel like he had finally seen the moon after waiting for a long time. He reacted and said, Brother Lin Fan, you are right. Peng Shong is the strongest here, but he still died in your hands. From now on, you will be the leader of the survivor base. Lin Fan did not deny Du Liangjun's statement. He glanced at Peng Shuang's body and said, by the way, with Peng Shuang's personality, he must have done something that made others unhappy in the survivor base, right? Yes. Du Liangjun nodded and said, what I remember most is that he found two women to accompany him. On the surface, it was voluntary, but in fact, everyone knows that the two women had no choice. Okay, if there is such a stupid thing, it will be easy to deal with. Lin Fan smiled. Du Liangjun didn't quite understand what Lin Fan meant. When he was about to continue asking, it became noisy outside. Let's go out and take a look, and take out the bodies of Peng Shong and the other two, Lin Fan said. When the door was opened, the people guarding the door noticed that Peng Shong and the other two were already dead. This made them feel dazzled. Before, Peng Shong only asked them to guard the door and not allow anyone to enter. Therefore, they focused on guarding the door and did not pay attention to what happened in the room. Du Liangjun walked up and said a few words to the guard. The guard took a deep breath and did not say much. Survivor base, in front of the accommodation building. Guan Wenbin and an evolver pushed each other. Feng Zhao. Why did you stop me? Guan Wenbin asked. Just now he went back to the room to get some wine, but just when he was about to return to the dining room with the wine in his hand, Feng Zhao stopped him and did not give him a chance to leave. No reason, I just want to see the wine in your hand. Feng Zhao is 1.9 meters tall and strong, with a muscular body. He looked at the wine in Guan Wenbin's hand with a playful look and said, "Such a good Maute wine, Guan Wenbin, if you don't take it out and share it with us, isn't it too unkind?" He wanted to drink on the one hand, and on the other hand, Peng Shong had asked Sun Yunke to come to him before, saying that if he saw Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun, he would just find trouble to hold them, but he didn't know the specific reason. "This is my wine, why should I share it with you?" Guan Wenbin frowned. "If you don't share, then I won't let you go over, you can do it yourself." Feng Zhao folded his hands in front of his chest, looking confident. "Don't force me to fight," Guan Wenbin said angrily. "Haha, then fight. It just so happens that I also want to see if you have improved," Feng Zhao laughed. Just when Guan Wenbin was about to put down the wine and fight Feng Zhao, the crowd of onlookers automatically separated to both sides, and a group of people walked out from the middle. "Brother Peng." Everyone's eyes were focused on Peng Shong at the first moment. Lin Fan ignored all this and threw Peng Shong's body out. Seeing this, Du Liangjun and Murenzhu threw out the bodies of Sun Yunke and Hu Yongru. The three bodies were lying on the ground. The atmosphere around them, which was originally very lively, suddenly became extremely quiet at this moment. "Brother Peng is dead? Who did it? Brother Peng is so strong, who can kill Brother Peng?" And Sun Yunke and Hu Yongru were also killed. Could it be a zombie? How could it be a zombie? If a zombie attacked, there must be bite marks on the body. Seeing the bodies of Peng Shong and the other two, everyone couldn't help but start a heated discussion. What's going on? Not only were the people around them surprised and incredible, even Guan Wenbin's eyes widened at this moment. He had just come out for a while, how come Peng Shong and the other two were in trouble? What happened in that period of time just now? Peng Shong and the other two wanted to force Lin Fan and his friends to stay, and even tried to kill them, but they were not strong enough and were killed by Lin Fan. Du Liangjun stood up and said. As soon as he said this, the surroundings fell into silence again. "I don't think I need to say much about Peng Shuang's character. You should know him better than I do during your time together. The three of them did die at my hands. If you don't accept it, you can challenge me." Lin Fan walked forward, his eyes swept over everyone, and said indifferently. "How is it possible? Brother Peng is so strong, can you kill the three of them?" After Feng Zhao recovered from his shock, he frowned and stared at Lin Fan. He had fought with Peng Shong and knew how terrible Peng Shuang's strength was. Although Lin Fan looked a little complicated, he didn't believe that Lin Fan alone could kill Peng Shong and the other two. In his opinion, the death of Peng Shong and the other two might have been caused by some dark means. "Haha, I just said that if you don't accept it, you can challenge me." Lin Fan glanced at Feng Zhao and waved at him. "Want to try? Okay. Then let me see if you are just pretending to be mysterious." Feng Zhao snorted coldly. He didn't want to avenge Peng Shong and the other two, but he simply didn't believe that Lin Fan had such strong strength. After the voice fell, he didn't delay any longer, took a step forward, and rushed towards Lin Fan like a bull. Feng Zhao's move can be said to have completely detonated the atmosphere here in an instant. After all, although the death of Peng Shong and the other two has become a fact, many people have the same idea as Feng Zhao, and don't believe that it was done by Lin Fan alone. Now that Feng Zhao is going to deal with Lin Fan, they can all see clearly whether Lin Fan is strong or not. Murenzhu stood aside, quietly watching the fight in front of her. She had absolute confidence in Lin Fan's strength and was not worried that Lin Fan would suffer at the hands of Feng Zhao. Bang! Feng Zhao rushed to Lin Fan, clenched his fists, and veins could be seen surging on his arms, giving people a sense of power. Just when everyone thought that Lin Fan would dodge Feng Zhao's powerful attack, they could not believe that Lin Fan did not dodge at all and remained standing there motionless. "You are looking for death?" Feng Zhao sneered in his heart when he saw that Lin Fan did not dodge or avoid. He used all his strength in this punch. Even Peng Shuang would not dare to treat him so carelessly, let alone Lin Fan's skinny body. Snap! When Feng Zhao's fist was less than 20 centimeters away from Lin Fan took action. He quickly stretched out his palm and grabbed Feng Zhao's arm at a speed that was difficult to capture with the naked eye. Chapter 59, Long-Term Plan. Feng Zhao's face changed when Lin Fan grabbed his arm. He had never expected that Lin Fan could resist in such a short time. The most important thing was that Lin Fan's palm gave him a feeling of an iron clamp, as if he could not pull his hand out after being grabbed. This was indeed the case. He tried to pull it out several times, but he could not get rid of Lin Fan's palm. "Get out of my way!" Feng Zhao took a deep breath, cursed, and kicked out. Since he couldn't get his hand out, he forced Lin Fan to let go. Snap! However, he still had no chance to kick Lin Fan with his kick. As soon as he raised his leg, Lin Fan slapped him hard, hitting his thigh accurately, and a crisp sound similar to a slap sounded. Hiss! This slap made Feng Zhao gasp and his whole thigh tremble. Then, Lin Fan no longer gave Feng Zhao a chance to attack. He grabbed Feng Zhao's arm with his palm and pulled it forward violently. Under this strong pull, Feng Zhao could not stand still and fell to the left front. Lin Fan let go of Feng Zhao's arm, and when Feng Zhao fell to his side, he kicked Feng Zhao on the waist. Bang! Even though Feng Zhao weighed 170 kilograms, he was kicked out by this kick, and flew a full 5 or 6 meters before falling back to the ground, falling flat on his face. So strong, this is too powerful. Feng Zhao didn't even have the strength to fight back in front of him. Yes, this little brother is really strong. As Feng Zhao was defeated, the surroundings once again rang with a burst of discussion. They thought Feng Zhao could play for a while in Lin Fan's hands, but they didn't expect that he would be defeated so quickly. "Are you convinced now?" Lin Fan looked at Feng Zhao and asked lightly. Feng Zhao got up from the ground in pain, touched his waist with one hand, and said with a bitter face, "I give up. You are indeed much stronger than me. I can't beat you. Now is the end of the world. There are no rules and laws to restrain. Killing is no longer regulated. The bodies of Peng Shong and the other two are still here." The bloody fact forced Feng Zhao to calm down. After the battle just now, he has completely understood that the gap between his strength and Lin Fan is too big. Even if he fights for his life, he can't be Lin Fan's opponent. If he refuses to admit defeat and continues to be tough, then it is very likely that there will be a fourth body on the ground. "Anyone who is not convinced can come out to challenge," Lin Fan said loudly. Everyone looked at each other, including the other evolvers in the survivor base, and they didn't dare to have any different opinions at this time. Seeing this, Lin Fan knew that the situation was completely under his control, and the effect of killing the chicken to scare the monkey was already obvious. Since no one is dissatisfied, then Peng Shong has completely become a thing of the past. I don't need to say much about what he did. You may all know it in private. His death is not necessarily a bad thing. This survivor base will not perish because of his death. Instead, it will develop better. From today on, the survivor base will be under my jurisdiction. Lin Fan's eyes swept over everyone and said in a sonorous voice, "I don't care about the previous rules, but from now on, the survivor base will follow the best order and give everyone a normal life as quickly as possible." After Lin Fan finished speaking, cheers and applause rang out all around. They didn't actually care about Peng Shuang's death. What they cared about was whether the safety of the survivor base could be maintained after Peng Shuang's death. They had just witnessed how strong Lin Fan was. With Lin Fan taking on this responsibility, the situation would naturally be much better than Peng Shuang. Living safely was their common goal. In addition, I will give everyone one night to consider whether to leave or stay. We will not force those who want to leave to stay, and we welcome those who want to stay, Lin Fan said. Roar. At this moment, the bodies of Peng Shong and the other two began to move, making zombie roars and standing up from the ground. Ah! They have become zombies, someone shouted. Bang! 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 Lin Fan moved his body and appeared in front of the zombies that Peng Shong and the other two had turned into. He kicked 3 zombie heads out in succession. The evolvers in the base who are willing to stay, please come with me to the conference room for a meeting. After getting rid of the 3 zombies, Lin Fan did not say anything else. After leaving a word, he turned around and walked out of the crowd. Murenzhu and the others looked at each other and followed Lin Fan closely. Wenbin, let's go. Du Liangjun looked at Guan Wenbin and greeted him. Yes, Guan Wenbin nodded. At this time, the two of them would undoubtedly make the right choice. After hesitating for a moment, Feng Zhao and the other evolvers still walked towards the conference room. For them, even if they are evolvers, there are also evolved zombies outside. If they leave the survivor base, they may not live better. At least they should stay here and wait for a while before making a decision. Meeting room. Lin Fan sat in the first seat, his eyes swept over Feng Zhao and others, and said, since you all choose to stay, I also welcome you. However, let me say it first. You must follow the rules. I don't want to see things like Peng Shang forcibly occupying women again." Feng Zhao and others were silent for a while. They all knew what Peng Shang did. "In addition, I will assign you your own jobs. As long as you do your job well, you will get benefits." After saying this, Lin Fan began to assign and arrange. When the meeting ended, although Feng Zhao and others did not say anything, they all admired Lin Fan from the bottom of their hearts. Before, when Peng Shang was the leader of the survivor base, he was nothing more than high and mighty, commanding them to do all kinds of things, but it seemed very disorganized. However, Lin Fan's distribution and arrangement now made him feel like he was developing with people who really wanted to do great things. As long as they could do it well, the survivor base would definitely develop better and better, and it might even be possible to expand it into a new city in the future. Please remember, no matter what time it is, there must be enough food reserves, and we must succeed in planting. There are so many people in the survivor base, so it's not difficult to find people who know how to plant, Lin Fan finally reminded. Those supplies outside will eventually be plundered and expire. If you want to live for a long time, you have to grow food yourself. This is the long-term plan. Let's go out and get the seeds back tomorrow, and then start working on this, Feng Zhao said. Well, let's adjourn, Lin Fan nodded. Chapter 60. Someone has to stay. Guan Wenbin, Du Liangjin, Feng Zhao and others left a meeting room, while Lin Fan and others stayed here. Murinzu looked at Lin Fan with her beautiful eyes, smiled and said, "Did you read military books every day before? Haha, I was born a few thousand years later. If I was born in ancient times, I might be a great general, right?" Lin Fan heard the meaning of Murinzu's words, and he also replied jokingly. Wang Haiming, Zhang Xintong and others were amused by their conversation. "Let's go to the cart to see Jianwei and the others," Lin Fan stood up and said. Wang Jianwei, Zhang Yuanzhang and Chen Xianlong, the three of them never left the RV from beginning to end, and stayed inside. Of course, in such a boring situation, they did not stay there in boredom, but played landlord to kill time. Lin Fan and others came to the car, and they just finished a game. Lin Fan recounted what happened before, and Wang Jianwei couldn't help but say, "Those three guys are damned. They actually want to keep us all here." By the way, Lin Fan, you are now the leader of this survivor base, what about looking for your sister? Zhang Yuanzhang asked curiously. Everyone focused their attention on Lin Fan, and this question was indeed worth pondering. Of course we still have to go to Anzhou City, but we have to leave some people here. Lin Fan's eyes fixed, and he said, "This survivor base is very good, and it can be used as a base to develop and grow. Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjin are reliable people, but they are easy to be used by others. Let me ask first, is there anyone who wants to stay here on their own initiative?" Lin Fan asked. Everyone looked at each other, and no one spoke. This result was within Lin Fan's expectations. After all, after this period of getting along, they all knew his abilities, and it was obviously the safest to follow him. "We must leave people here," Lin Fan emphasized. "Lin Fan, how about I stay?" Chen Xianlong said. Lin Fan looked at Chen Xianlong with a smile on his face. "I had such a plan originally." Chen Xianlong was startled. He didn't expect that Lin Fan had planned to let him stay. He was just thinking that if he took the initiative to stay, would Lin Fan doubt his loyalty and worry that he would leave after getting out of control. "Although your own strength is not that strong, I think you have a lot of experience in managing people," Lin Fan explained with a smile. "This survivor base has a large population, and it needs people like you to manage it better." When Lin Fan spared Chen Xianlong's life before, he was impressed by Chen Xianlong's ability in this aspect. This guy was able to become the boss of the Jiangnan City underground world, and he had a lot of younger brothers in his hands before the doomsday. Those younger brothers who were mixed up in the underworld were all dealt with by him, which was enough to show that he was very good at managing people. Moreover, Lin Hongke and others were also here, so if Chen Xianlong stayed, he would not be alone. "Lin Fan, thank you for your trust. Don't worry, I will do my best to take care of this place." Chen Xianlong thanked him sincerely, then frowned and said, "It's just that there are evolvers here." What if they? Chen Xianlong was worried that the evolvers would not obey the management. In that case, he would not be able to defeat the evolvers. "I will leave some guns for you." Lin Fan glanced at the location of the guns in the car. "As for the evolvers, Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjin are reliable. Before leaving tomorrow, I will talk to them again and ask them to assist you in management." "Okay, then I have no problem," Chen Xianlong nodded seriously. Lin Fan, I just thought about it, and I also want to stay here, Liu Yun suddenly said. Okay, staying here may be better for you, Lin Fan nodded. Liu Yun felt that she could no longer have any relationship with Lin Fan, and her strength was really not good. If she followed Lin Fan and others out to venture, she would become a drag. Of course, the most important thing is that Murong Zhu, Murong Shen and Zhang Xintong are much prettier than her. When women get along with each other, they can't help but compare with each other, which will make her feel inferior. After Chen Xianlong and Liu Yun decided to stay, Lin Fan's eyes fell on Wang Ziming and Zhang Xintong. Dr. Wang, Dr. Zhang, one of you two must stay here. The medical care here must be supervised by professionals, Lin Fan said. One doctor stays and one doctor follows them. This is the safest arrangement. Hearing this, Wang Ziming and Zhang Xintong looked at each other. Then, Wang Ziming took the initiative to say, Lin Fan, then I will stay. Dr. Zhang will continue to follow you to Anzhou City. Okay, Dr. Wang, then you stay in the survivor base. After all, there are more people to be responsible for here. You are more experienced and will be more suitable to handle it, Lin Fan said. Although these words sounded a bit like praising Wang Ziming's medical skills and depreciating Zhang Xintong's medical skills, they were indeed true. Wang Ziming has been practicing medicine for longer than Zhang Xintong, so he is naturally better than Zhang Xintong in medicine. Yet, Wang Ziming nodded and glanced at the place where things were piled up. I need some of those medicines, take whatever you need. We don't need them much for the time being, Lin Fan nodded and said. In addition, when the situation at the survivor base stabilizes, you can go to the drug warehouse of the First People's Hospital and move all the medicines as much as possible to keep them here in case of emergency. There are a large number of people in the survivor base, and there may be more survivors in the future. The medicines must be fully prepared, otherwise if there is an outbreak of plague or infectious diseases, it will be a devastating damage to the survivor base. After the instructions were completed, Lin Fan asked them to distribute the things by themselves, turned around and walked out of the RV to find Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun. You are leaving tomorrow. Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun were both shocked after hearing what Lin Fan said. They thought that after Lin Fan became the leader of the survivor base, he would choose to stay at the survivor base, but they didn't expect that Lin Fan would still leave here. Yes, tomorrow morning, Lin Fan smiled and said, however, I have already made all the arrangements. I will come back here in the future. After I leave, you have to help Chen Xianlong and Dr. Wang take good care of them. If anyone deliberately makes trouble, you know what to do, okay? Don't worry, we will definitely guard this survivor base. Seeing that Lin Fan was determined to leave, Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun could not persuade him anymore, and could only agree to help Chen Xianlong and the others take care of the survivor base. I feel relieved with your words, Lin Fan smiled again. After chatting with the two of them for a while, he returned to the RV. Chapter 61 Shuiyang City. At this time, Wang Ziming had packed up the medicines he needed to leave behind. Chen Xianlong looked at Lin Fan. These guns, leave the sniper rifle, leave one submachine gun, and as for the pistols and bullets, you take 3/4 and leave 1/4. Lin Fan quickly made the distribution. There are too many people to manage in the survivor base, and sometimes you must have strong strength or force to suppress them. Hearing the data Lin Fan said, Chen Xianlong was shocked, as if he didn't expect Lin Fan to leave him so many. You must put these guns away. Except for those you trust, you can distribute them to them. In addition, you must keep all of them and don't let them fall into the hands of others, otherwise it will easily cause riots, Lin Fan reminded. Chen Xianlong nodded solemnly. He was still very clear about these interests, especially weapons like guns, which must be taken care of. Okay, there's nothing to do tonight. Have a good rest. Tomorrow we will set off for Anzhou City. The three of you will stay in the survivor base. Lin Fan waved his hand, walked to the front driver's seat, and began to close his eyes and rest. Seeing this, Wang Jianwei and others also followed to rest. One night passed quickly. In the early morning, when the fog was shrouded, Lin Fan and others woke up. Guan Wenbin and Du Liangjun also came here. They had not met Chen Xianlong and the other two yesterday, so they were officially acquainted now. I'll leave this place to you, Lin Fan said. You should also be more careful, Chen Xianlong said. Well, let's go. Lin Fan smiled, returned to the driver's seat of the RV, started the car, stepped on the accelerator, and drove away from the survivor base. After watching the car disappear at the end of the site, Chen Xianlong and others did not stay here and began to carry things back to the room. They had to find a safe place to store important things such as guns and medicines. However, Lin Fan no longer cared about these. If you doubt a person, don't use him, and if you use a person, don't doubt him. Since he decided to hand this place over to them, he had to have confidence in them and believe that Chen Xianlong and the other 5 would manage this survivor base well. Soon the car arrived at the highway intersection. What surprised Lin Fan was that the railings at the highway intersection had been broken on the ground. It looks like someone got on the highway from here, Wang Jianwei said. It should be, Lin Fan nodded. After all, he couldn't rule out the possibility that the other party destroyed the railing and didn't get on the highway. There are many places to go on this highway. I hope the highway is not blocked when the doomsday breaks out, Wang Jianwei sighed. Can you stop being such a pessimist? Lin Fan smiled helplessly. It's not fun for us to be blocked on the highway. What I say usually doesn't work. Wang Jianwei smiled awkwardly. While the two were talking, the car had already driven onto the highway. Fortunately, it was not a holiday when the doomsday broke out, and the highway was not free to pass. Therefore, on this road, although there were some vehicles parked in all directions, they did not block the road at all. There was a toilet in the RV, so as long as Lin Fan didn't need to rest, they didn't have to stop. 2 hours later, Wang Jianwei glanced at the road sign in front and said, "We are about to leave Jiangnan City and enter Shuiyang City. If we pass Shuiyang City smoothly, we will soon arrive in Anzhou City," Murinzu said beside him. Hearing the words Shuiyang City, Lin Fan's heart was somewhat touched. If he remembered correctly, he seemed to have met Zhou Ziao and Ji Liangjun in Shuiyang City in his previous life. However, the date in the previous life was different from the current date. Now it is impossible to determine whether Zhou Ziao and Ji Liangjun are in Shuiyang City. Damn. The road ahead is blocked. When the car turned over a small slope and was about to go downhill, Wang Jianwei said speechlessly. Lin Fan stepped on the brakes and did not continue to drive forward. Looking out, he could clearly see that at the bottom of this slope, various vehicles were jammed together. Moreover, in the middle of this congested section of the road, there were 2 large trucks lying across the road. If it were just those small cars, with this modified RV, it might be possible to force them to open, but the 2 large trucks lying across the middle of the road made people feel the most powerless. You are really a crow's mouth, you got it right. Murin Sham couldn't help but roll her eyes at Wang Jianwei. Wang Jianwei scratched his head in embarrassment and said awkwardly, blame me, you two, stop arguing." Lin Fan smiled helplessly. "We can only go back and exit the highway from Shuiyang City, and then we can go through the highway in Shuiyang City." As he said that, Lin Fan turned the car around and drove back. This may be the only advantage of the highway in the doomsday, that is, there is no traffic control, and you can turn around whenever you want. Fortunately, it is not far from the exit of Shuiyang City. In about 10 minutes, they arrived at the exit. After getting off the highway from the exit, Lin Fan looked around and frowned slightly. "What's wrong?" Murinzu couldn't help asking. "I'm looking for road signs. I haven't been to Shuiyang City before, and I don't know which way to go faster," Lin Fan said. "I haven't been here either," Wang Jianwei shook his head. Murinzu and Murin Shan were the same. "I know," Zhang Xintong suddenly said. "I went to college in Shuiyang City, so I'm quite familiar with this place. I've been to Anzhou City from Shuiyang City several times, all by car with classmates and friends." "That's great, Dr. Zhang, come to the front and show Lin Fan the way," Wang Jianwei said enthusiastically. "Yeah, okay," Zhang Xintong nodded, went to the co-pilot seat, took a look and pointed to the left. "Go to the left first, and wait until the next intersection before changing lanes." "It seems that it is the right choice to let Dr. Zhang follow us," Lin Fan smiled. Zhang Yuanzhang also said behind him, "In fact, I have also been to Shuiyang City several times, but I am definitely not as familiar with it as Dr. Zhang who studied here." "Haha, Officer Zhang, you didn't say much along the way, and I thought you were autistic," Wang Jianwei joked. "You are the one who is autistic." Zhang Yuanzhang reached out and patted Wang Jianwei on the shoulder. "Don't call me Officer Zhang anymore. There is no such thing as an officer in the doomsday world. I am older than you. You should just call me Brother Zhang from now on." "Okay, Brother Zhang, it's a happy decision," Wang Jianwei laughed. In the cheerful exchange between the two, the car soon arrived at the next intersection. Lin Fan, take this Quanshu road. Go all the way to the end, and then get on the ring road, Zhang Xintong reminded. Okay, Lin Fan nodded and drove onto Quanshu road. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62 Evolution Dog. Shuang City was considered a third-tier city before the Doomsday outbreak, with a permanent population of about 5 million. When the first wave of zombies broke out, the city was also severely damaged, and many places were ruined by the crowded zombies. The car was driving on the Springwater Road, and Wang Jianwei and others were already accustomed to such scenes. Bang! Bang! When the zombies appeared on the road, Lin Fan drove directly into them without any hesitation, smashing the zombies into pieces or crushing them under the wheels. With this modified RV, it is indeed much easier. Even occasionally, when there are small cars blocking the road, increasing the speed and ramming through them can also knock the blocked small cars away. After driving on the Springwater Road for about half an hour, Zhang Xintong pointed to the intersection in front and said, Lin Fan, turn right in front, that road is the bypass road. Go along the bypass road and you will be out of the city at the end. At that time, you will not be far from Ansao City. Okay, Lin Fan nodded. Anyway, Zhang Xintong is familiar with this place, so it's right to listen to her. However, just as he was about to turn right onto the bypass, a scene that surprised them all appeared in his sight. Looking up, he saw that the bypass was densely packed with zombies. Moreover, those zombies were still moving in their direction. Why are there so many zombies here? Wang Jianwei's eyes widened a little. The 6-lane bypass was completely occupied by zombies. Just by taking a rough look, it can be estimated that the number of zombies is not less than 50,000. Murenzhu and others also looked at this scene with a serious expression. They really didn't expect that there would be so many zombies on this bypass. It should be the zombies left behind by the zombie tide, and they have gathered together again, Lin Fan analyzed. Then what should we do now? Just drive into it, Wang Jianwei asked. He was full of confidence in this modified RV and was not afraid that the zombies would block the car. Lin Fan stepped on the brakes and shook his head. Don't say that. I am not sure if I can successfully crash through it. The most important thing is that we can't go on this bypass now. Why? Everyone was confused. This bypass will soon collapse. Lin Fan narrowed his eyes, pointed at the road surface of the bypass and said, look carefully, there are so many zombies on this bypass. When they move, the frequency of their steps may not be much different, which has caused the road surface to begin to tremble slightly. If I am not wrong, this bypass will completely collapse in a short time. Hearing what Lin Fan said, Wang Jianwei and others looked at the road surface carefully, and indeed saw that the road surface was trembling slightly. Dr. Zhang, you should be familiar with other ways out of the city, right? Lin Fan retracted his gaze and turned his head to look at Zhang Xintong and asked. Well, go this way, we can take a detour to another road, Zhang Xintong replied. The bypass road is not feasible, so we can only change to another road. Turning the car around, Lin Fan stepped on the accelerator and drove on another road. Roar. After the zombies on the bypass road gathered together, the sound they made was not small at all. Even at a distance of more than 1,000 meters, their roars could be clearly heard. Boom. However, at this moment, the bypass road trembled violently, shaking as if an earthquake had occurred, and the entire road collapsed with a bang. It collapsed, Wang Jianwei shouted. Everyone looked over and saw that the bypass road had collapsed as a whole. The entire road and the zombies fell to the ground, splashing dust all over the ground. Many zombies had broken limbs due to the collapse. However, the zombies' vitality is extremely tenacious. As long as their heads are still there, they still have the ability to attack. It's just that they have difficulty walking. Fortunately, Lin Fan discovered it in time, otherwise we would have driven onto the bypass road and encountered this situation again, which would have been a real danger. Zhang Yuanzhang sighed solemnly. Yes, if our car was on top of such a collapse, with such a large weight and a fast descent speed, we might be buried under those rocks. At that time, we would be helpless, Wang Jianwei said. Murongsu, Murongshan and Zhang Xintong naturally admired Lin Fan's observation ability in their hearts. Being with such a man who works carefully and meticulously, they felt very safe. As for the compliments from Zhang Yuanzhang and Wang Jianwei, Lin Fan just smiled and didn't say much. He was too careless in his previous life and didn't see the affair between Zhou Xiaoyu and Ji Liangchen earlier, which eventually cost him his life. With the experience accumulated in his previous life, no matter what he did in this life, he would treat it with the most serious and rigorous attitude. After driving along this road for 20 minutes, when he entered the next fork in the road, Zhang Xintong took a look and said, "Lin Fan, go left." Lin Fan nodded silently. When he was about to drive to the left road, he saw a dog out of the corner of his eye. From the appearance of the dog, it is not difficult to see that it is a German Shepherd, which is referred to as a German Shepherd. This type of dog is generally a military dog raised in the army. But now people like pets more, and some families raise them as pet dogs. If it was just an ordinary German Shepherd, then Lin Fan would at most think that it was lucky to be able to survive the zombie outbreak, but it was not an ordinary German Shepherd at all. Its eyes were red. In other words, it had completed its evolution and was an evolved dog. Lin Fan immediately used the ring to read the data. Species, German Shepherd level 1 strength. 4 speed. 5 reaction. 4 mutagenic factor, yes. After using the ring to confirm the data information of the German Shepherd, Lin Fan couldn't help but smile. "What are you laughing at?" Murongsu asked curiously when she saw Lin Fan smiling. "Look over there," Lin Fan pointed. Looking in the direction of Lin Fan's finger, Murongsu and others saw the German Shepherd as expected. "What a handsome dog," Murangshan blinked her eyes. She liked dogs the most. But before the doomsday, she had to study and so on, so she never had time to raise one. Murongsu and Zhang Xintong also thought that the German Shepherd was very good looking. It was not easy to see such a dog surviving in the doomsday. "Xiao Fan, you are not planning to bring it here to keep it, are you?" Wang Jianwei asked jokingly. "It is not an ordinary German Shepherd," Lin Fan smiled again and said, "it has evolved. Look carefully at its eyes, the color has turned red." Hearing this, Wang Jianwei and others looked closely at the German Shepherd's eyes and found that the German Shepherd's eyes were red. "It has a mutagenic factor in its body. We can have one more evolver in our team," Lin Fan said. Chapter 63 Amazing Jumping Ability. What is a mutagenic factor? Zhang Yuanzhang couldn't help asking. Wang Jianwei and the others were also a little confused. It was the first time they heard this term. "Murongsu, explain it to them," Lin Fan said with a smile. He had already told Murongsu about it before, but he hadn't told Wang Jianwei and the others. Murongsu nodded slightly and told what she had learned from Lin Fan. After listening, Zhang Yuanzhang suddenly realized, it turns out that ordinary people like us can also rely on this mutagenic factor to become evolvers. I always thought it was innate, that's why there are innate evolvers and acquired evolvers. Murongsu smiled. "Lin Fan, how do you know this?" Zhang Yuanzhang looked curious. "Secret," Lin Fan smiled mysteriously and didn't intend to say more on this issue. Zhang Yuanzhang also realized that he shouldn't have asked that question just now. Everyone has their own secrets. Anyway, it's okay as long as Lin Fan doesn't harm them. In this regard, Wang Jianwei did a relatively good job. He and Lin Fan were roommates and knew something about Lin Fan's family situation. It stands to reason that it is impossible for Lin Fan to become so powerful and know so many truths when the doomsday comes. But Lin Fan did it. If there is no secret, he would never believe it. However, he will not dig deeper into these things. He believes that it is enough to live well with Lin Fan. "Do you know how to drive this car?" Lin Fan's eyes focused and said, "I will go to deal with it, but the car can't be parked here, otherwise the zombies around will gather more and more. I have to drive it." Although Murongsu, Wang Jianwei and Zhang Xintong all have driver's licenses, they are all small car driver's licenses. Even if the operation is almost the same, they have never tried this kind of large car. Lin Fan can drive because of his experience in his previous life, but they don't have such experience. "I can drive?" Zhang Yuanzhang stepped forward and said, "We have been specially trained before, and there is no problem with those big vehicles." "Okay, then you drive and follow. I will go down to chase the German Shepherd." Lin Fan stood up from the driver's seat and said, "If you can't keep up, then go along this road to an open place and wait for me. I will find you." After Zhang Yuanzhang sat in the driver's seat, Lin Fan did not delay any longer, opened the door and got out of the car. and quickly ran towards the German Shepherd. For animals that have already evolved, if you want to get mutagenic factors from them, you must do so when the other party is still alive. You cannot kill the other party first, otherwise the mutagenic factors will lose their effect. Therefore, Lin Fan could not use a sniper rifle to kill. When Lin Fan took action, Zhang Yuanzhang also started the car and drove. He could only try his best to keep up with Lin Fan's speed and direction. After all, the roads in the city are not places where people can shuttle freely. When Lin Fan was still 300 meters away from the German Shepherd noticed Lin Fan's approach. A pair of red eyes stared at Lin Fan closely, and his mouth opened slightly, revealing his white teeth. After evolving to level 1, the German Shepherd has significantly improved in all aspects, just like the evolver. It can feel that Lin Fan is not an ordinary person, but a threatening existence to it. Facing Lin Fan's approach, it maintains the highest alert. Lin Fan naturally knows the situation of the German Shepherd, but he has no other way but to keep closing the distance between him and the German Shepherd. Only by closing the distance can he possibly take down the German Shepherd. When the distance is shortened to 100 meters, a low threatening sound comes out of the open mouth of the German Shepherd. Lin Fan ignores it and continues to approach. Seeing this, the German Shepherd kicks its forelegs and runs quickly, rushing forward with Lin Fan, trying to pounce on Lin Fan in a flying posture. Seeing the German Shepherd flying over, Lin Fan's eyes flashed with a barely perceptible smile. What he wants is for the German Shepherd to clash with him, otherwise if the German Shepherd is determined to escape, then he doesn't know how much time and effort it will take to catch up. Bang! Lin Fan squatted down, and the German Shepherd flew out from above his head. At this moment, he clenched his fist and punched out. As expected, he hit the German Shepherd's stomach and sent it flying. Woof! Such a solid punch was undoubtedly very uncomfortable for the German Shepherd, and it barked in pain. Its voice was not small at all. With such a bark, the zombies around gathered here. In normal times, Lin Fan would not like the feeling of being surrounded by zombies. But now that he was surrounded by zombies, he thought it was a good thing. This was equivalent to building a zombie wall, which could play a significant role in limiting the German Shepherd's escape. Of course, after that punch, he did not hesitate at all and continued to rush towards the German Shepherd. The German Shepherd was a little angry and flew towards Lin Fan again. Lin Fan avoided the German Shepherd's attack with a faster reaction. The same punch hit the same position, and the German Shepherd's body flew out sideways. The German Shepherd got smarter now. It knew that Lin Fan was much stronger than it and could not fight Lin Fan head-on. It stood up and ran away. Lin Fan's eyes flashed and he hurriedly chased after it. In fact, with his current strength, the two punches just now, if he had used all his strength, would have been enough to kill the German Shepherd, but he had to control the strength and could not kill it directly, which made the German Shepherd have the strength to escape. The zombies around had already surrounded it, and a zombie wall was gradually forming. The German Shepherd ran in front of the zombies, jumped suddenly, jumped onto the shoulder of a zombie, and then jumped again, and jumped onto the shoulder of another zombie. After 2 consecutive jumps, the German Shepherd successfully broke away from the zombie encirclement and ran faster. The jumping ability is so good, Lin Fan looked at this scene speechlessly. He originally thought that the zombies surrounding it would be able to effectively prevent the German Shepherd from escaping, but he did not expect that the German Shepherd's jumping ability was so unexpected. Roar! A small number of zombies in the outer circle turned around to chase the German Shepherd, but more zombies still surrounded Lin Fan. A fierce look appeared on Lin Fan's face. He stretched out his hand to his waist, grabbed the axe in his hand, and quickly chopped at the zombies. He cut a bloody path at the fastest speed and rushed out of the zombie encirclement. He glanced and judged the direction of the German Shepherd's escape based on the direction of the zombies chasing the German Shepherd. He took a step and surpassed the chasing zombies. Sure enough, the German Shepherd had already fled to the front of the building. Lin Fan didn't delay at all and chased the German Shepherd frantically. He couldn't lose the target, otherwise it would be difficult to find it again. Fortunately, the German Shepherd was hit hard by 2 punches and was still injured. It couldn't run faster than Lin Fan. The distance between the two was closing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Chapter 64 Ji Liangchen. The German Shepherd reluctantly ran away and came to a building. It seemed to know that it would have no way to escape if it ran into the building, so it went around and ran to another road. Lin Fan had been keeping a close eye on the German Shepherd, and would not let it escape no matter how it ran. Over there, in the RV, Wang Jianwei and others had been paying attention to Lin Fan. When they saw Lin Fan go to another road, they also hurriedly reminded Jiang Yuanzheng. Jiang Yuanzheng took a look, turned the steering wheel, knocked away more than a dozen zombies in front of him, and quickly drove to that road, stepped on the accelerator to the bottom, and accelerated out. Woof! When the German Shepherd was running away, it might have felt a little pain from the punches on its body, causing it to bark uncontrollably. Although the zombies around gathered around after hearing the barking, the German Shepherd and Lin Fan were both moving fast. When they came over, the German Shepherd and Lin Fan had already gone to the next area. After running all the way, about a few minutes later, the German Shepherd arrived outside a high school. Of course, it didn't know that this was a school. Seeing the school gate, it didn't think much. It rushed over and jumped into the school gate, running along the road to the school. Lin Fan took a look. From the school gate, he deduced that there were still people alive in the school, and even occupied the school. Otherwise, such a large school would not have no zombies wandering around at first glance, and it would not have closed the school gates so well. However, he had to get the mutagenic factor in the German Shepherd's body, so that Murenshan could become an evolver and stimulate her potential superpowers. Once Murenshan became an evolver and stimulated her potential superpowers, the strength of their team would be equivalent to soaring straight up. Lin Fan didn't hesitate, and also ran towards the school gate. He jumped over the school gate, locked onto the German Shepherd's figure, and continued to chase. Over there, I saw Lin Fan entering that school, in the RV. When Jiang Yuanzheng and others drove to this area, Wang Jianwei happened to see Lin Fan running towards the school and quickly reminded him. Yet, I noticed it too. Jiang Yuanzheng nodded, knocked away the zombies blocking the road, and soon arrived outside the school. What should we do now? Should we follow him in or wait outside? Jiang Yuanzheng glanced at the school gate. If he drove the car to knock it open, it would be a bit difficult. Murenzhu naturally understood this problem and said, "You just wait in the car and take care of the things in the car. I'll go in and take a look at the situation first, sister, then you should be careful," Murenshan reminded. Yes, be careful about everything, Wang Jianwei and others also reminded them separately. Murenzhu is an evolver, and her strength is stronger than theirs. It is indeed much more advantageous for Murenzhu to go in and check than them. I know, Murenzhu nodded, took out 2 pistols from the backpack where the guns were placed at the back and stuck them on her waist, then got out of the car and walked into the school. After watching Murongso enter the school, Jiang Yuanzheng drove the car to the school gate and turned the car to wait. In the principal's office, more than 10 people gathered here. Principal Wu, we don't have much food resources now. If we continue like this, everyone will starve to death here. It's time to make a change, a 25-year-old man said. The man was 1.8 meters tall, handsome, neither fat nor thin, and looked very sunny on the outside, but his tone of voice became a little unfriendly, as if he was holding back a burst of anger. Then what do you want me to do? Those are all students of our school. Shouldn't I give them food and watch them starve to death? Principal Wu looked worried. In the next few rooms, there were about 100 surviving students. No one expected that the doomsday would happen. The rest of the zombies in the school were solved by them in this period of time. Those that were not solved were also controlled in the classroom and the door was locked tightly, not giving the zombies a chance to come out. But the current problem is that there is not much food they can eat. If the food is still distributed every day as before, then they will have nothing to eat in 2 days at most. As for going out to find food, they have thought about it, but the shadow left by the zombie tide is too big, and no one dares to risk their lives. Let them find food by themselves. Without them distributing food here, we can at least last for 10 more days or half a month. Then there may be a turning point, the man said in a deep voice. Ji Liangchen. What are you talking about? Principal Wu was angry and said angrily, don't forget, this is our school. You are the ones who came in from outside. If you want to go out, you should go out. Yes, this handsome man is Ji Liangchen. After the doomsday broke out, they fled from outside to this school and stayed here without going out. Principal Wu, I am very disappointed with your decision. In this case, don't blame me for being rude, Ji Liangchen sneered, then reached out to touch his waist, and actually took out a pistol, pointing the muzzle at Principal Wu's head. You? Principal Wu's eyes widened, and he looked at Ji Liangchen in disbelief. He didn't expect that Ji Liangchen had a gun on him. Principal Wu, I'll give you one last chance. If you still don't know how to make the right choice, I can guarantee you 100% that your head will explode. Ji Liangjun moved his finger to the trigger and said coldly. This pistol was not originally owned by Ji Liangjun. When he was escaping outside during the Doomsday outbreak, he met a policeman and took it from the policeman while he was unconscious. By now, there are only 2 bullets left in the pistol. If he didn't want to force Principal Wu to make a choice, he wouldn't have revealed the pistol. The black muzzle was pointed at his head. Even though Principal Wu had lived for decades and experienced many storms, it was impossible for him not to be afraid. After all, as long as the trigger was pulled, the bullet would fly out and blow up his head, ending his life. I'll give you 3 more seconds. Ji Liangjun really wanted to kill. 3, 2, just shoot. Principal Wu took a deep breath, cold sweat on his forehead, but he mustered up the courage to say, if you want to kill those students, then kill me first. As long as I'm alive, I won't allow you to do that. Ha ha ha. Good, very good. Ji Liangjun laughed in anger. Principal Wu, do you think I dare not shoot you? Or are you not afraid of death? Chapter 65 2 Reasons. I know you dare to shoot, and I am afraid of death too. Principal Wu looked directly at Ji Liangjun and said word by word, but I will not be as inhumane as you. They are all students. I can't watch them die. Humanity? It's the end of the world, and you still talk about humanity. Ji Liangjun's eyes were filled with murderous intent. You like to talk about humanity, right? Then I will let you know what it means that if you don't work for yourself, you will be punished by heaven and earth. As soon as the voice fell, Ji Liangjun was ready to pull the trigger. However, at this moment, a shout interrupted his action. Brother Liangjun, come and see. Someone is coming in. The sound spread and immediately attracted everyone's attention. They have been in school for so many days, except for the arrival of Ji Liangjun and others, no one else has come. Keep an eye on him, don't let him run away, Ji Liangjun ordered a man next to him. Then, he immediately walked to the window and looked out. What is that guy doing? Chasing a dog, Ji Liangjun frowned. It seems so, someone said, both the dog and he are so fast. How can they run so fast? After the German Shepherd came in from the school gate, he first ran around the playground, and then started to run outside the office building. Lin Fan had been chasing him from behind. Now, the distance between him and the German Shepherd was less than 5 meters. Lin Fan was even more certain that there was someone in the school, otherwise there would be no zombies. However, he didn't have the mind to pay attention to who was in the school. His only goal now was to catch the German Shepherd. Woof! The German Shepherd felt Lin Fan chasing him relentlessly from behind, and barked from time to time. Seeing that the distance was almost right, Lin Fan took a quick step, made a flying pounce, and then rolled over, and suddenly appeared at the back foot of the German Shepherd. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the back foot of the German Shepherd in his hand. Woof! Being caught by the hand, the German Shepherd barked and subconsciously turned back to bite. Lin Fan was always paying attention to the German Shepherd's movements. When the German Shepherd turned around to bite, he was even more swift-witted and quick-handed. He quickly stretched out his other hand and grabbed the German Shepherd's mouth, not giving the German Shepherd any chance to bite. In this way, the German Shepherd was completely subdued. Lin Fan released the hand that was holding the German Shepherd's hind legs, raised it and slapped it on the back of the German Shepherd's head, knocking the German Shepherd unconscious. Just as he was about to grab the German Shepherd and leave here, a voice came from the office building. Stop, don't move. Lin Fan looked in the direction of the sound, and saw several figures emerging from the office building. Especially when he saw the figure walking in front clearly, he couldn't help but sneer in his heart. Ji Liangjun. Lin Fan instantly recognized the other person's appearance. It was this face, this person. In the previous life, he got along with Zhou Xiao as his best friend, deliberately showing off his personality and deceiving his trust, but he had already colluded with Zhou Xiao and eventually killed him. Of course, in this situation, Lin Fan would not call out Ji Liangjun's name. After glancing at Ji Liangjun's face, he looked at the pistol in Ji Liangjun's hand. This was a little surprising to him. He didn't expect Ji Liangjun to have a pistol. What's your name? Ji Liangjun pointed his pistol at Lin Fan and asked. Lin Fan smiled calmly. My name is Lin Fan. Can you please not point the gun at me? I came here with no other ill intentions. I just came to catch this dog. Where did you come from? Ji Liangjun asked again. Outside. Lin Fan glanced in the direction of the outside of the school. Nonsense. Of course I know you came in from outside, Ji Liangjun said in a bad tone. What I'm asking is, where did you come from here? Do you have a team? I was in Quanshu Road before, and I had a team, but I got separated from my teammates later, Lin Fan said. Separated? Ji Liangjun squinted his eyes, as if he wanted to see if Lin Fan was lying. After a pause, he asked, so, you don't have any food resources either? No, Lin Fan shook his head. Brother Liangjun, I think that dog is good. We haven't eaten meat for such a long time. Why don't we get the dog to eat? A thin man next to him stared at the German shepherd and swallowed his saliva while speaking. Ji Liangjun thought it made sense and nodded. We want the dog in your hand. Do you have any objection? Since the outbreak of the doomsday, they have not eaten meat again. It's not easy to see a live dog, so there is no reason to let it go. This, Lin Fan pretended to hesitate. Do you think you have the right to choose? Ji Liangjun raised the gun in his hand, with a warning meaning undisguised. Okay, give it to you, but can you let me join your team? I can go out to find food. It's too lonely alone, Lin Fan said sincerely. Hearing this, Ji Liangjun became interested. He was worried that no one would go out to find food. Lin Fan was able to come here alive from outside, which showed that Lin Fan was not simple. If such a person is not used, it would be a bit of a waste. Okay, as long as you can find food, the door of our team is open to you, Ji Liangjun nodded. Can I go up with you to rest for a while? I'm too tired from running here just now. I'll go out to find food after a rest. Lin Fan wiped his forehead with his hand and stretched out his hand casually. It's all sweat. Okay, you take the dog and go up in front of us. Don't blame me for not reminding you. You'd better not play any tricks, otherwise I won't be reluctant to shoot you, Ji Liangjun said coldly. How dare I play tricks? Lin Fan spread his hands helplessly, then picked up the German shepherd from the ground and walked over. During the whole process, Ji Liangjun had been pointing a gun at Lin Fan, and when he saw Lin Fan coming, he deliberately stepped back a little, always keeping a certain distance from Lin Fan. Lin Fan did not take action directly, mainly for two reasons. First, at such a distance, he could not guarantee that he could take down the opponent before Ji Liangjun opened fire. Once he failed, he would face certain dangers. Second, Ji Liangjun showed up here, and he wanted to see if Zhou Xiaoyu was here too. These two people killed him in his last life, and he had to take revenge in this life no matter what. When Lin Fan, Ji Liangjun and others walked towards the second floor, Murangzu turned around and came to the front of the office building. She did not show her head directly, but observed first and saw that there were figures in some rooms on the second floor, and there were quite a few of them, which made her alert. Even though those figures looked like students. Chapter 66. So what? The principal's office. Lin Fan was holding a German shepherd in his arms, and Ji Liangjun's gun was still pointed at his head. It was obvious that Ji Liangjun had not let down his guard against him. Lin Fan, put the dog down and sit over there, Ji Liangjun pointed to the chair on the other side. Lin Fan nodded, put the German shepherd on the ground, and was about to walk over when the door opened and two women walked in. The two women were about 23 years old. One had an ordinary look and figure, and the other had a beautiful figure. Liangjun, who is this person? Zhou Xiaoyu looked at Lin Fan with her beautiful eyes and asked curiously. She had gone to the toilet with her friend before, and just came back from the toilet. When Lin Fan saw Zhou Xiaoyu again, his emotions were quite calm, without any ups and downs. He still remembered that in his previous life, he was fascinated by Zhou Xiaoyu's beauty and figure at the first sight of her, and fell in love with her ever since, so much so that he didn't even see the affair between Zhou Xiaoyu and Ji Liangjun clearly. His name is Lin Fan, and he just came in from outside. Ji Liangjun looked at Zhou Xiaoyu with a hint of greed in his eyes. If there weren't so many people here, he would have wanted to pounce on Zhou Xiaoyu right now. Why did you let a stranger in? Zhou Xiaoyu said with some dissatisfaction. We don't have much food to begin with. If there is one more person to eat, we will eat it faster. Xiaoyu, Lin Fan said that he wants to join our team and can go out to find food for us. As Ji Liangjun spoke, he walked towards Zhou Xiaoyu, put down the gun in his hand, put his arm around Zhou Xiaoyu's slender waist, and squeezed it gently. Zhou Xiaoyu twisted her waist, looked at Lin Fan suspiciously, and said, in order to join our team, you are willing to find food? Aren't you afraid of zombies? Lin Fan scratched his head and showed a sincere look. It's too lonely to wander outside alone. I still like the feeling of being in a crowd, and so many people gather together, the chance of survival will be greater. Don't worry, I run very fast. I have always won the first place in the running competitions I participated in since I was a child. There is absolutely no problem with me going out to find food. I just hope you can really let me integrate into the team." As soon as Lin Fan said this, another man said, "Yes, Sister Xiaoyu, this guy is really fast at running. I saw it with my own eyes. It feels no worse than those sprint champions." "Then when will you go to find food?" Zhou Xiaoyu asked aggressively. "I'll go after a break," Lin Fan replied. "Don't rest, wait until you find food before resting. Our team doesn't want idle people. If you want to integrate into the team, then show your results first," Zhou Xiaoyu ordered. Ji Liangjun also glanced at Lin Fan, waved his hand, and said, "Lin Fan, you have rested for quite some time since then. Go find some food. We will wait for you here." He liked Zhou Xiaoyu very much, so he would naturally stand on Zhou Xiaoyu's side. "Okay, I'll go now. Do you have a backpack? If so, give me one so I can pack my things," Lin Fan said. "Take the backpack on the table." Ji Liangjun pointed to a table less than 5 meters away from him. When Lin Fan said this, he had already noticed that there was a backpack on the table. As he guessed, when he asked for a backpack, Ji Liangjun would definitely let him take it. At this time, Ji Liangjun's mind was basically focused on Zhou Xiaoyu, and the gun in his hand was put back to his waist. Lin Fan sneered in his heart and walked towards the table. When he was relatively close to Ji Liangjun and Zhou Xiaoyu, Lin Fan suddenly changed direction with his body to the side, bursting out at full speed, and rushed towards Ji Liangjun and Zhou Xiaoyu. "Brother Liangjun, be careful," a man reminded hurriedly. Damn it, Ji Liangjun's face changed, and after he reacted, he immediately reached his hand to his waist, ready to draw his gun to fight Lin Fan. However, at such a close distance, he could not draw his gun faster than Lin Fan could sprint. Lin Fan came in front of Ji Liangjun in a blink of an eye, stretched out his hand to grab Ji Liangjun's wrist, and snatched the gun from his hand. Bang! Immediately afterwards, Lin Fan punched out, hitting Ji Liangjun's nose hard. The sound of the broken nose was mixed with screams. Ji Liangjun's body was also thrown backwards by this punch. Damn it! Come on! After Ji Liangjun's brothers reacted, they glared at Lin Fan angrily and wanted to rush forward to attack. Bang! Bang! Lin Fan pulled the trigger, and 2 bullets flew out and hit the knees of the 2 brothers. The bullet hit the kneecap, and the pain was so intense that the 2 brothers fell to their knees, holding their knees with their hands and screaming, tears flowing uncontrollably. At that moment, they all forgot that Lin Fan had snatched the pistol from Ji Liangjun. There are only 2 bullets in the gun. He has used up all of them. "Kill him," Ji Liangjun shouted. The other 4 brothers were already sweating coldly, but when they heard Ji Liangjun tell them the truth about the bullets, they mustered up their courage again and rushed towards Lin Fan with machetes in their hands. Bang! 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 Suddenly, 4 more gunshots rang out. 4 bullets, 4 headshots. The 4 men holding machetes had their heads exploded and fell to the ground. This scene stunned everyone alive in the office. Just now, their attention was focused on Lin Fan, and they were sure that it was not Lin Fan who fired a gun, not to mention that there were no bullets in the gun. Lin Fan looked towards the door and immediately saw Murinzu put down the gun in her hand. Obviously, those 4 bullets were fired by her. After Ji Liangjun and others recovered from their shock, they all looked at Murinzu. They were stunned by her beauty at first sight. They never expected that such a beautiful woman would suddenly appear. Moreover, this beautiful woman's shooting skills were quite accurate. "Where are they?" Lin Fan asked with a smile. "I asked them to wait outside the school gate. I came in alone." Murinzu walked towards Lin Fan while talking. "Are you okay?" "No, I'm fine," Lin Fan smiled. "You actually lied to us," Ji Liangjun cried out in pain. He finally understood that Lin Fan was not alone at all, but came here with a team. "So what?" Lin Fan smiled faintly. "Who made you so stupid?" Ji Liangjun was almost choked by these words. "What do you want?" Zhou Xiaoyu took a step back and looked at Lin Fan vigilantly. "I don't want anything. At most, I will kill you," Lin Fan said faintly. Chapter 67 Recommended Places. Just kill you. These few simple words frightened Zhou Xiaoyu's pretty face pale and her body trembled. She looked at Lin Fan with fear, always feeling that under Lin Fan's calm appearance, there was a strong murderous intent hidden. It must be said that women's intuition is sometimes quite accurate. At least, at this moment, Josiah's intuition was not wrong. Why do you want to kill us? We haven't offended you, Josiah clenched her jade hands and asked with a trembling voice. Kill if you want to. Do you need a reason? Lin Fan still said indifferently. Don't kill me, please. I can do anything you want me to do. Josiah rolled her eyes, revealing a pitiful look. She even emphasized the word I can do anything. She didn't want to die, she wanted to continue to live, even if she had to pay the price of her body. She agreed without hesitation. Xiaoyu, Ji Liangjun reacted the most when he heard Josiah's words, and couldn't help shouting. Ji Liangjun, shut up. Josiah glared at Ji Liangjun with disgust. If you want to die, go die by yourself. Don't drag me with you, you stinky bitch. Why didn't you dare say these words when you were in bed with me? Ji Liangjun was immediately angry and pointed at Josiah. Fuck. What I regret most is that I didn't beat you to death before. Josiah didn't care about his feelings, so he wouldn't think about it anymore. Anyway, he had already felt a breath of death from Lin Fan. He knew very well that no matter how he behaved next, he would eventually die, just like those little brothers were killed. You bastard, Josiah cursed, and hurriedly looked at Lin Fan, explaining in a panic, Brother Lin Fan, don't listen to his nonsense, I didn't sleep with him at all, please don't kill me. While speaking, she stretched out her hand and pulled the clothes on her chest, wanting to show Lin Fan the majesty of her chest. Get out, Lin Fan sneered. Brother Lin Fan, Josiah wanted to continue begging for mercy to get a chance to survive. Snap. However, before she could finish her sentence, Murengzu came up and slapped her in the face. The sound was quite loud. Don't flirt here. Murengzu's tone was not fierce, but there was an unquestionable momentum hidden in it, which frightened Josiah so much that she dared not say another word. When I came up just now, I found that there were many students in the room next to me. Murengzu looked at Lin Fan and reported. Yeah, I noticed it too. Lin Fan nodded. When he went upstairs before, he also saw the figures of those students. Thank you, both of you. Principal Wu spoke at this time. I am the principal here. We have been trapped in the school and dare not go out. Since these people came, they began to exploit us. If it weren't for you, Principal Wu told the situation again. After listening, Lin Fan nodded and said, you are a good principal. Don't worry, this school will always be your territory. They don't deserve to live here. How to deal with them? Murengzu asked. You can do whatever you want with them. I'll leave this matter to you. Lin Fan believed in Murengzu's ability to handle things. He didn't need to personally take action against Ji Liangjun and Josiah. Murengzu nodded lightly, and without delay, she pointed a gun at Ji Liangjun, Josiah and the other girl and left the office. Principal Wu, I have to tell you something. Lin Fan walked up to Principal Wu and said seriously, for now, don't expect the country to take measures to save the doomsday. You may be safe staying in school now, but your food will soon run out. If you don't find food by then, you will still starve to death here, so, you and those students must make a choice, either leave this place or stay and wait to starve to death, unless you have the absolute ability to find more food, which is obviously unlikely. Principal Wu's initial hope was to lead the students to persist until the country arranges people to rescue them. Now that he heard Lin Fan say this, his hope in his heart was completely shattered. After a long while, he sighed heavily and said, if we leave here, where can we go? There are zombies everywhere outside, and it may be more dangerous than here. Principal Wu, have you ever been to Jiangnan City? Lin Fan asked. Yes, Principal Wu nodded. In Changshan district of Jiangnan City, 5 kilometers to the left of the highway toll gate, there is a survivor base. I am the leader there. Lin Fan sat on the chair and said, there are already several thousand people gathered in the survivor base. If you have no other place to go, you can consider going there. When the time comes, you can follow the arrangements and your safety and food resources will be guaranteed. Principal Wu said excitedly, can safety and food resources really be guaranteed? Lin Fan spread his hands, it seems that I have no benefit in lying to you, right, great. Let's go. We must go. Principal Wu nodded repeatedly. For them, such a survivor base is definitely better than staying in school all the time. Since you have decided to go, then pack up as soon as possible. When the time comes, you go through the highway and we come from that side. There are not many zombies on the highway, and there is no problem of safety hazards, Lin Fan said. Okay, I'll go tell the students and ask them to be prepared. Well, if you can arrive safely, remember to find a man named Chen Xianlong and tell him that I asked you to go. He will make arrangements for you. Just tell me my name when you arrive. My name is Lin Fan. Thank you so much. Principal Wu thanked him again and again excitedly. Soon, he went to inform the students. At the same time, Murengzu walked in from outside. Have you dealt with it? Lin Fan asked with a smile. They should have turned into zombies by now, Murengzu replied. To survive in the doomsday, it's not wrong to be ruthless, but if you don't have any bottom line, you can't survive for long. People like them are a disaster when they are alive. Lin Fan smiled faintly. Murengzu agreed with Lin Fan's concept. She felt that following Lin Fan would not only improve her strength, but also learn a lot. This was also a kind of admiration she had for Lin Fan. After Principal Wu notified all the students to pack up, Lin Fan said goodbye to Principal Wu. We still have our own things to do. I wish you good luck and hope you can reach the survivor base smoothly. After that, Lin Fan did not delay and returned to the RV with German Shepherd and Murengzu. Principal Wu and the students also did not stop and quickly rushed to Jiangnan City. Chapter 68 Arrival at Anzhou City. Brother Zhang, continue driving to Anzhou City. Dr. Zhang, show Brother Zhang the way. Lin Fan made arrangements in the RV. Okay, Zhang Yuanzhang and Zhang Xintong both nodded, sat in the driver's seat and the co-pilot's seat respectively, and drove away. Lin Fan put the fainted German Shepherd down, and then found the syringe in his backpack. Extract a mutagenic factor now, Murengzu asked beside him. Well, the extraction process is actually very simple, just extract blood from its body. Lin Fan pushed the air out of the syringe and said, the only limitation is that it can only be extracted once, not repeatedly. Murengzu, Murengshan, and Wang Jianwei all gathered around and watched Lin Fan insert the needle into the German Shepherd's body. Then, he slowly pulled to extract the blood from the German Shepherd, and quickly completed the task. Lin Fan glanced into the syringe, then looked at Wang Jianwei and others, and said, this time, the mutagenic factor will be given to Murengshan first, and the new one will be distributed to you later. Wang Jianwei has absolute trust in Lin Fan, and he believes in all of Lin Fan's arrangements. Lin Fan said that he would give it to Murengshan first, and there must be an absolute reason, and he would not resent Lin Fan for not giving him the mutagenic factor first. After Zhang Yuanzhang came into contact with Lin Fan, he also knew Lin Fan's character. In his opinion, Murengshan was the only minor in the team, and her self-protection ability was the worst. Only by improving Murengshan's strength can the team not be dragged down. Otherwise, when encountering danger, someone must protect Murengshan. As for Zhang Xintong, she didn't think as deeply as Zhang Yuanzhang. At most, she felt that Lin Fan and Murengzu had a good relationship, and Murengshan was Murengzu's biological sister. Out of care, Lin Fan gave priority to Murengshan to become an evolver. But this will not become a grudge in her heart. Her main responsibility in the team is medical care. When the rest of the team is strong, her safety can be better guaranteed. Brother Lin Fan, you want me to become an evolver first? Murengshan's eyes widened, and her pretty face was full of surprise. She herself did not expect that Lin Fan would give priority to her. Shouldn't it be given to Zhang Yuanzhang or Wang Jianwei first? Yes, if you become an evolver first, the benefits for our team will be more obvious. You will know this later. Lin Fan smiled faintly. Murengshan didn't know that she had potential superpowers, and she was just short of becoming an evolver and fully awakening. However, Lin Fan couldn't say it out, because that would be too suspicious. Murengshan glanced at Murengzu with her beautiful eyes. She didn't know what the specific benefits Lin Fan was talking about were, but she had the same idea as Zhang Xintong at this time. She felt that Lin Fan was considering letting her become an evolver first because of his relationship with Murengzu. Stretch out your hand, Lin Fan said. Murengshan nodded obediently, rolled up her sleeves, and revealed a section of her white and tender arms. Murengshan's appearance was sweet and lovely, with white skin. She was a beauty at first glance. Lin Fan didn't think too much about it. He stretched out his hand to pull Murengshan's arm, and after finding some blood vessels, he said, if it hurts, just bear with it. I won't find something to tie it up for you now. After that, Lin Fan inserted the needle into Murengshan's blood vessels and slowly pushed the needle tube. This process was indeed a bit painful for Murengshan, but she bit her teeth and endured it without making any sound. When all the blood in the needle tube was injected, Lin Fan pulled out the needle and pressed it with the cotton he had prepared before. Okay, you just need to rest well next. The mutagenic factor will automatically melt in your body. There may be some physical reactions during the process, which are all normal phenomena, Lin Fan said. Thank you, Brother Lin Fan. Murin Shan nodded and thanked him. Lin Fan shook his head and smiled. Go and have a rest. Yeah, okay. Murin Shan walked to the back of the RV, where there was a blanket, and it was more convenient to lie on it and rest. Xiao Fan, how long does it take for this mutagenic factor to merge? Wang Jianwei asked curiously. It's hard to say specifically. It depends on the individual situation. Some take longer and some take shorter, Lin Fan said. After the fusion is successful, will it become an evolver as powerful as you? Wang Jianwei asked again. Of course not. Murin Zhu glanced at Wang Jianwei and continued, Lin Fan's strength is stronger than ours. It's just like ordinary people have a gap in strength, and evolvers also have a gap in strength. I see. Wang Jianwei nodded suddenly. Lin Fan didn't know how long Murin Shan would take to merge. In the following time, they all rushed to Anzhou City. Although the bypass road could not be taken, everything went smoothly with Zhang Xintong's guidance. About 2 hours later. Xiao Fan. Look, Wang Jianwei reached out and touched Lin Fan, and quickly pointed to the lying German Shepherd. Lin Fan and Murin Zhu looked over and saw the German Shepherd's tightly closed eyes open, then immediately stood up and looked at Lin Fan and others with great vigilance. To be precise, it was on guard against Lin Fan. Ordinary dogs would remember if someone hit them, not to mention that this German Shepherd had evolved, so it would naturally remember Lin Fan's power even more. Should we let it go or kill it? Murin Zhu held a dagger in her jade hand, ready to attack at any time. Let it go. Its fighting power is comparable to that of ordinary evolvers, and it can deal with zombies when it is alive. No matter how we humans fight among ourselves, the biggest enemy is still zombies. Lin Fan looked back at Zhang Yuanzhang who was driving and said, Brother Zhang, stop the car. Okay. Zhang Yuanzhang did not hesitate, stepped on the brakes, and the car quickly stopped, and opened the door by the way. Get out. Lin Fan stepped aside. Seeing this, Murin Zhu and Wang Jianwei also moved to the sides to make way for the German Shepherd to come out. The German Shepherd was still very alert, and its eyes kept scanning Lin Fan and the others. After staring for 10 seconds, it seemed that it did not sense any hostility from Lin Fan and the others, so it relaxed slightly. Then, it moved on all four legs, quickly rushed towards the car door, and got out of the car in a flash. This guy runs really fast. Wang Jianwei looked outside and found that the German Shepherd ran to the corner of the road in a blink of an eye. How can four legs not be fast? Lin Fan smiled. After the episode of letting the German Shepherd leave, the group set off again. Zhang Yuanzhang was still driving and Zhang Xintong was giving directions. But what they didn't notice was that the German Shepherd was actually following far behind. After another 3 hours, Zhang Xintong looked up and saw the road sign in front of her and said, We are entering the area of Anzhou City ahead. I am not familiar with Anzhou City. It's okay. My parents and I have been to Anzhou City several times. I am quite familiar with it. Next, let me give directions, Wang Jianwei said with a smile. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69 Tushan Hotel. Wang Jianwei's parents have been doing business and have made a lot of money over the years. In addition to developing in Jiangnan City, they have also invested in Anzhou City. The only difference is that the business in Anzhou City is not as big as that in Jiangnan City. He used to come to Anzhou City with his parents frequently. Although he is not as familiar with the situation here as the locals, he is definitely more familiar with it than Lin Fan and others. Brother Zhang, you have been driving for several hours in a row. You should take a break first and let me drive, Lin Fan said. Okay, Zhang Yuanzhang nodded. Remember not to drive when you are tired. He really needs to take a break. Xiao Fan, go to the left in front. That road can go directly to the largest bus station in Anzhou City. After arriving at the bus station, I am very familiar with the surrounding routes, Wang Jianwei said while sitting in the co-pilot seat. Lin Fan smiled, started the car, stepped on the accelerator, and drove straight to the Anzhou bus station. Although Anzhou City is geographically located on the edge of the provincial map, it is close to the sea, so Anzhou City has developed quite rapidly in recent years and has entered the ranks of second-tier cities. The permanent population is 8 to 9 million, which is not less than that of Jiangnan City. The first zombie outbreak was not only in Jiangnan City, but also in the whole world. After so many days of settling down, the big cities now all look like a mess. Fortunately, there is this modified RV, which is powerful and indestructible. As long as there is no big truck that completely blocks the road, the RV can be driven through. As for the zombies on the road, they can't resist this RV at all, and they will be crushed all the way. Some survivors hiding in the room were stunned when they saw such a scene, and they also tried to shout for help. They were trapped for more than 10 days, and the food and water resources they prepared were basically used up. If there is no other way to escape, they will be trapped to death in the room. With Lin Fan's hearing, he can naturally hear the cry for help, but he is not a savior, and he doesn't want to be a savior. It is impossible for him to ask for help from everyone. He has more important things to do. Wang Jianwei looked ahead and said slowly, "The bus station is in front." Lin Fan nodded. "When we get to the bus station, let's stop and eat something." This bus station is the largest bus terminal in Anzhou City. In the past, the flow of people here was quite terrifying, but now that the zombie tide has gathered and erupted, there are not many zombies left here. Lin Fan drove to a road outside the bus station and stopped by the side. Dozens of zombies gathered around and quickly surrounded the RV. There is no need to pay attention to such a small number of zombies. After the car starts, it will be crushed out in one go. Lin Fan ate 2 pieces of bread, drank half a bottle of water, and looked at Murin Shan. It was obvious that Murin Shan's body was shaking. "It seems that the fusion is about to succeed," Lin Fan said. A few seconds after he finished speaking, Murin Shan stopped shaking, and her tightly closed eyes suddenly opened, clear and bright, without any impurities. "Xiao Shan, how do you feel?" Murin Zhu asked immediately. "Sister, I feel full of strength, much stronger than before," Murin Shan replied excitedly. Haha. Hearing Murin Shan's adjective, everyone couldn't help but laugh. "Brother Lin Fan, thank you." Murin Shan also smiled sweetly, and looked at Lin Fan with her beautiful eyes to thank him. "You're welcome. Your strength has increased, which is also good for us." Lin Fan shook his head. Then, he read Murin Shan's data through the ring. Species, human level 1 strength. 4 speed. 4 reaction. 4 superpower. Acquiring from Murin Shan's information, Lin Fan knew clearly that Murin Shan was now in the stage of acquiring superpowers like him. As for how long it would take to successfully acquire them, he had no idea. After all, in his previous life, he died before he even reached the level of an evolver. "Jianwei, where were your parents before?" Lin Fan turned his gaze to Wang Jianwei. "When I called them, they were at Tushan Hotel," Wang Jianwei said quickly. "I emphasized that to them. They will definitely listen to me, prepare their things and wait in the hotel." Tushan Hotel. Lin Fan's eyes flashed, and he asked, "Are you talking about the Tushan Hotel opposite Anzhou University?" "Yes, that one," Wang Jianwei nodded. "That's quite a coincidence. My sister is studying at Anzhou University. I also asked my sister to wait for me at the Tushan Hotel opposite. This way, we don't have to look for different places. We can go directly to Anzhou University," Lin Fan said. "I hope they are all okay." Wang Jianwei clenched his fist. "Don't worry, as long as they listen to us and stay in the hotel room and close the door, they will be fine. Zombies won't open the door, and hotel doors are not that easy to knock open." Lin Fan reached out and patted Wang Jianwei on the shoulder, then returned to the driver's seat. "You continue to show me the way, we'll hurry over." "Okay." Wang Jianwei identified the direction. "Go to the viaduct in front, it's a shortcut. If nothing goes wrong, we can reach Anzhou University in at most an hour." Anzhou University is not in the city center, but on the edge of the city. Driving from the bus station, an hour is considered fast. Lin Fan did not delay, stepped on the accelerator, and directly knocked away the zombies surrounding the car, crushing the zombies' bodies and moving forward, and soon got on the viaduct. They were lucky. The shortcut connected by the viaduct was not blocked. Just as Wang Jianwei predicted, about an hour later, the gate of Anzhou University appeared in their sight. "Why are there so many zombies here?" Wang Jianwei was shocked when he saw the densely packed zombies in front of him. Muran Zhu, Muran Shen and Zhang Yuanzheng were also a little surprised. They didn't expect that there would be so many zombies gathered in this place. A rough estimate is that there are at least tens of thousands of them. The most important thing is that these zombies not only gathered around the gate of Anzhou University, but also surrounded the Tushan Hotel opposite. The zombies should be attracted by some movement. Lin Fan frowned slightly and scanned the zombie group carefully. He found that there were still many evolved zombies among these zombies. It seems that the gathering of zombies is indeed related to the evolved zombies. Xiao Fan, what should we do now? Wang Jianwei asked anxiously. With so many zombies surrounding him, he really couldn't be sure whether his parents were still alive. No wonder he was so anxious. Chapter 70 Lin Xiaoxiro. Lin Fan was also thinking about this problem. With so many zombies surrounding this place, if they wanted to force their way in, they might be able to break out a bloody path with this RV. But after they broke through, they would definitely be surrounded by zombies. Moreover, the worst thing was that their purpose was not only to enter the Tushan Hotel, but also to search and rescue people in the Tushan Hotel. Judging from the current situation, it was obvious that these zombies had not yet successfully entered the Tushan Hotel. They obviously could not open a gap, so that the zombies could enter in a stream. At that time, not to mention that the difficulty of searching and rescuing people would increase, even they would face great danger. We can only think of a way to lure these zombies away. Lin Fan pondered for a long time before he slowly said. Does it mean that we make a big noise and use the sound to attract them? Muran Zhu asked. Yes, this is the only way I can think of now, Lin Fan nodded. Yes, if we don't lure these zombies away, it will be difficult for us to get close, Zhang Yuanzheng said. But there are many evolved zombies among these zombies. My only worry is that we can't attract many zombies, Lin Fan pondered and said. Also, if all the evolved zombies are attracted by us, we will also be in danger. How about we split up? Jianwei and I will each drive a car, and then Murongsa and the other three will drive a car. Zhang Yuanzheng thought about it and suggested, in this way, if our 4 cars honk at the same time, even if these zombies want to chase us, they will be divided into 4 groups. Isn't the danger reduced a lot accordingly? Yes. Brother Zhang, I think the method you mentioned is very good. We can distract the attention of the zombies in this way, and the chances will be greater, Wang Jianwei said hurriedly. No, you are wrong. This does not reduce the danger, but increases it. Lin Fan shook his head and rejected it. Xiaofan, why do you say that? Wang Jianwei looked puzzled. Zhang Yuanzheng, Murongsu, Murongshan and Zhang Xintong also looked at Lin Fan with some confusion. From the point of view of reasoning, dividing the zombies into 4 groups does reduce the danger. If all these zombies are ordinary zombies, then there is no problem in doing this. After all, the movement speed of ordinary zombies cannot be compared with the speed of cars. Even if the roads in the city are not very smooth, ordinary zombies cannot catch up. Lin Fan looked at the group of zombies and explained, but now there are obviously evolved zombies among these zombies. The speed of evolved zombies is not much slower than that of evolvers. Once the evolved zombies chase in batches, then you who are not evolvers will basically have no way out. Ordinary people facing evolved zombies are the same as ordinary zombies facing evolvers. There is no level between the two. Lin Fan exhaled slightly and decided, first, use this car to attract their attention. We will attract as many as we can. Let's not try other risky behaviors for the time being. As he said, Lin Fan stepped on the accelerator to the bottom, the engine made a harsh sound, and the car quickly rushed forward. Boom! The speed of the RV soared to the highest level, speeding on the road, like a tiger rushing out of a cage, giving people a sense of majesty and domineering. Moreover, while driving, Lin Fan kept honking the horn. And the sound of the horn was not small at all. The two sounds mixed and spread, undoubtedly attracting the attention of the zombies. Roar! Stimulated by the two sounds, the zombies also roared, and many turned around and ran towards the RV. Lin Fan didn't care about this scene, and the accelerator was still pressed to the bottom. The speed of the car had increased to more than 200 miles. Bang! 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 When the car and the zombies came into contact with each other, only a series of dull sounds were heard, and the bodies of those zombies were smashed to pieces without even a chance to fly out. There was no way, mainly because the impact force was quite large under such a fast speed. It can be said without hesitation that even the evolved zombies would not have a chance to survive under such a collision. Therefore, when the evolved zombies in the zombie group sensed the danger coming, they selectively moved and avoided the route of the RV to avoid being hit by the RV. When Lin Fan drove into the zombie group, 2 girls were staying in a room in Tushin Hotel. One of the girls heard the loud noise coming from below and hurried to the window to look down. "Ah! Zaya Oxeo, come and see," the girl screamed. The girl she called Zaya Oxeo was Lin Fan's sister Lin Zaya Oxeo. Hearing the girls shout, Lin Zaya Oxeo got up from the bed and followed to the window. "Is that a car?" Lin Zaya Oxeo was stunned and a little unsure. "It should be," the girl next to her nodded woodenly. She was not sure whether it was a car. The people inside are too brave. They dared to rush directly into the zombie group. Aren't they afraid of being surrounded by zombies? Lin Zaya Oxeo's pretty face was full of doubts. In her eyes, zombies are extremely ferocious creatures. She thinks that any normal person will retreat when seeing zombies. Who would take the initiative to find trouble with zombies? With such a fast speed, the zombies can't stop it at all. The girl clenched her jade hands excitedly and said, "Zaya Oxeo, do you think this is someone sent by the country to save us? If so, then we have a chance to leave this hotel. I don't know if it's someone sent by the country." Lin Zaya Oxeo shook her head gently, but she thought of Lin Fan in her heart. Before the doomsday broke out, Lin Fan called her and asked her to book a room in this hotel and prepare supplies. But now more than 10 days have passed, and Lin Fan has not come to see her. She is not worried that Lin Fan will deceive her, but she is worried about whether Lin Fan is safe. After all, she has seen the horror of zombies and roughly knows that the whole world is caught in the storm of doomsday. The phone can't be used, and the traffic is completely paralyzed. She really can't imagine how Lin Fan should come here from Jiangnan City alone. "Zaya Oxeo, our food is only enough to last for 2 days. If no one comes to save us, then we will definitely starve to death here. I hope the people below are really here to save us," the girl said with expectation. "Well, let's take a look first. If they are really here to save us, it's better than us starving to death." Lin Zaya Oxeo stared at the RV below, feeling both hopeful and worried. She hoped someone would come to rescue them, but she was also worried that Lin Fan would not be able to find her after he arrived here. Chapter 71 Breakout Plan. This girl is Ding Duanaya, Lin Zaya Oxeo's best friend in college. Before the doomsday, when Lin Fan called her, she happened to be shopping with Ding Duanaya. Hearing Lin Fan's serious instructions, she brought Ding Duanaya to Tushin Hotel. The two stayed here for more than 10 days and never left the room. The zombies in Tushin Hotel had actually been cleaned up by the people inside. Someone knocked on the door, but they didn't make any sound. Because Lin Fan told her not to open the door no matter what happened, and to stay in the room and wait. There was only one knock on the door, and it didn't happen again, so they didn't dare to open the door and go out. After all, they didn't know that all the zombies in the hotel had been killed. When the zombies broke out before, many zombies gathered here. After the zombie tide ended, some of these zombies stayed and surrounded Tushin Hotel. At the same time, in the hotel lobby. At this moment, more than 10 people gathered here. Among them, an old man in his 60s and a girl in her 20s were sitting on the sofa. Although the old man is not young, he looks old and frail. As for the girl, her facial features are very delicate, and her hair is tied in a ponytail. No matter from which angle you look at her, she is an absolute beauty. However, the girl doesn't seem to be in a very good mood, sitting with a sad face. "Linger, you can't go on like this." Mu Guishan looked at Mu Linger lovingly and said distressedly. "Grandpa, I really can't accept my parents." Mu Linger's eyes couldn't help but turn red. "Things have happened. We can't accept it, but we have to accept it. You have to believe that your parents don't want to see you like this now." Mu Guishan sighed. He is a scientific research professor. He originally came to Ranzhou City to participate in a scientific research discussion meeting. By the way, he brought his son, daughter-in-law and granddaughter to broaden his horizons. He didn't expect to encounter such an emergency as the doomsday zombie. He and Mu Linger were not infected into zombies, but Mu Linger's parents turned into zombies at the first time. If the people responsible for protecting their safety had not acted in time, they would also be infected. Professor Mu, at this time, a man in military uniform came over. "Xiao Zhuang, what's the matter?" Mu Guishan tilted his head and asked. Xiao Zhuang's full name is Zhuang Xianjun. Before the outbreak of the doomsday, He was a Special Forces soldier, and he was also an elite among the Special Forces soldiers. When Mu Guoxin came to Anzhou City, Zhang Xianjun took the lead in protecting him, which shows how important Mu Guoxin's status is. This is indeed the case. As a scientific research professor with excellent professional skills, Mu Guoxin is a rare high-end talent in the country. It is understandable that such a person is protected by the authority. Professor Mu, the current situation is not optimistic. I just went to see that the resources in the hotel are probably enough for us to eat for 3 days. If we can't get support, we must take other measures, Zhang Xianjun said in a low voice. What are other measures? Mu Guoxin asked. Rush out. Zhang Xianjun's eyes condensed slightly. There are so many zombies outside. How many are surrounded? Mu Guoxin asked again. Less than 10%. Zhang Xianjun smiled bitterly and shook his head, but we have no choice. According to the situation of the zombies gathering outside, even if we don't take the initiative to break through, I think they will forcefully break through the obstacles and rush in. When we are trapped in this hotel, our chance of survival will be 0. If we break through, what about the rest of the people? Mu Guoxin said worriedly. There are other survivors in this hotel, and they are now ranged in the rooms on the second floor waiting for rescue. Professor Mu, when that time comes, they can only rely on themselves. We don't have enough manpower to protect them, Zhang Xianjun said. In fact, among the people he brought to participate in the protection this time, including him, 3 have become evolvers. Such a lineup is already very powerful to some extent. However, there are too many zombies gathering outside, and 3 evolvers are not enough compared to such a large number of zombies. Hearing Zhang Xianjun's words, Mu Guoxin also sighed softly. Okay, but, Xiao Zhuang, if it really comes to that, I hope they have the right to know. No matter what measures they will take, at least they can't let them wait to die in this hotel without knowing anything. As a high-end talent of the country, it is not an exaggeration to describe Mu Guoxin as caring about the country. He really wants everyone to have a chance to survive, but that is not realistic after all. Professor Mu, don't worry, I will definitely tell them this, Zhang Xianjun nodded. Report. Suddenly, a person came down the stairs and said hurriedly, Captain. There is a situation outside. Professor Mu, I'll go up and take a look first, Zhang Xianjun said and quickly ran to the second floor. Linger, let's go and take a look too, Mu Guoxin said. Mu Linger hummed and walked towards the second floor together. Soon, they came to a small balcony on the second floor. Standing here, they can clearly see the situation outside. Bang! Bang! In the sight, on the road outside the hotel, the RV was driving through the zombie group at a crazy speed, smashing the zombies into pieces. Who is in that car? Another evolver asked curiously. Zhang Xianjun frowned, also feeling confused. Logically, if the country arranged people to rescue them, they should come by helicopter. But there was no sign related to the army or the country on the modified car, and it was obviously not here to rescue them. Since it was not here to rescue them, why did the people in the car deal with these zombies? Captain, with that car creating chaos, can we plan to break out? Yes, Captain, that car has attracted a lot of attention from the zombies. Maybe it's a good time for us to break out. 2 people in military uniforms made suggestions. Zhang Xianjun pondered and said, we can indeed take this opportunity to make some plans. While speaking, Zhang Xianjun glanced at Mu Guoxin and said, Professor Mu, you should also make some preparations and pack up the things you are going to bring. As long as there is a suitable opportunity, we will break out. Okay, Mu Guoxin nodded. By the way, Xiao Zhuang, remember to notify those people. I'll arrange someone to notify them right away, Zhang Xianjun said. Mu Guoxin and Mu Linger quickly packed up their things. Zhang Xianjun arranged for the 2 to notify the other survivors in the hotel. He stayed here to observe the situation below while thinking of a breakout plan in his mind. Chapter 72. That's my brother. On the highway, Lin Fan stepped on the accelerator and shuttled back and forth among the zombies with his superb driving skills. Those ordinary zombies had no chance of survival after being hit by the RV. Xiao Fan, if we continue like this, can we get rid of those zombies? Wang Jianwei asked excitedly. The noise created by the RV can continuously attract zombies. In Wang Jianwei's opinion, if they kept driving back and forth on this highway, those zombies might die here. It's not that simple. Lin Fan shook his head and said, even if there are no zombies gathering in other areas, we can't stay on this highway. Why? Wang Jianwei asked curiously. With the sturdiness of this RV, we don't have to worry about the attacks of ordinary zombies, but there are too many zombie corpses on this road, and there are also a lot of bloodstains, so the car is prone to slipping. If the car slips and is surrounded by evolved zombies, there is a high probability that we will be overturned to the ground with the car and people, and we may be trapped to death in the car, Lin Fan analyzed calmly. What's more, the movement here is not small at all. After the sound spreads, zombies from other places will continue to gather here. At that time, the number of zombies gathered may be even more terrifying than the current number. After the precipitation of the previous life, Lin Fan always considers the problem comprehensively when looking at it. Although the probability of the situation he is worried about is not very high, there is a saying that it is better to be safe than sorry. He can't take such a risk with a car full of people. Otherwise, it is really a waste if he is killed alive by the heaven who has finally given him a chance to be reborn. Lin Fan's words made Wen Jianwei and others wake up. After I drive and crash twice more, you, Brother Zhang, will drive. Murangsu and I will get out of the car to deal with the zombies and try to lead away the zombies that are surrounding the hotel, Lin Fan said quickly. Brother Lin Fan, let me go with you. Now I am also an evolver, it's time to contribute to the team, Murangsham stepped forward and said. Lin Fan first gave her the mutagenic factor to fuse, making her an evolver. She felt that she should also take responsibility. You have to stay in the car, Lin Fan said calmly. There are evolved zombies in the zombie group. We cannot rule out the possibility that the evolved zombies will come and surround the car. You can also ensure the safety here if you stay. Murangshan nodded obediently, agreeing with Lin Fan's arrangement. Bang! 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 The RV continued to shuttle through the zombie group, and the zombies were smashed to pieces one by one. After 2 rounds, Lin Fan drove the car out of the zombie group and quickly stepped on the brakes. Brother Zhang, I leave it to you, okay? Zhang Yuanzhang nodded and quickly went to the driver's seat. Lin Fan did not delay, took 2 pistols and put them on his waist, and then put the sniper rifle on his back. As for Murangzu, he also prepared 2 pistols and a submachine gun. There are too many zombies here. We must stay together at all times and don't get separated. It will be very dangerous, Lin Fan reminded. Yes, a solemn look flashed in Murangzu's beautiful eyes. Although she had seen more zombies when the zombie tide broke out before. But that time did not let her fight against the zombie tide. Now she really has to face so many zombies, so she must be careful. Let's go. Seeing this, Lin Fan waved his hand and got out of the car first. Murangzu followed closely behind with a dagger in her jade hand. Boom. After Lin Fan and Murangzu got out of the car, Zhang Yuanzhang closed the door, stepped on the accelerator, and the engine roared again. He turned the car around and continued to rush towards the zombies. The location of the RV happened to be a road between Anzhou University and Tushan Hotel. Lin Fan and Murangzu did not need to deal with the zombies on this road. They crossed the road directly and came to the front of Tushan Hotel. The appearance of the 2 of them undoubtedly made the zombies here agitated, and they rushed towards them one by one. Keep on the periphery, kill while retreating, and don't rush into the zombie group, Lin Fan reminded. Ka. At the same time, he held the axe in his hand and chopped continuously. The zombies' heads fell to the ground one by one under the attack of the axe. Murangzu stood beside Lin Fan, holding the long knife she had prepared before, and also chopped off the zombies' heads one after another. Although her strength is not as good as Lin Fan, after this period of training and improvement, she can perform very well when facing ordinary zombies, with both offense and defense, and not giving the zombies any chance to get close to her. Captain. Look at those 2 people, they took the initiative to get out of the car to deal with the zombies. On the balcony on the 2nd floor of the hotel, a man kept an eye on the situation below. Seeing Lin Fan and Murangzu fighting with the zombies, he quickly turned back to remind Zhang Xianjun, who was thinking about a breakout plan. Hearing this, Zhang Xianjun walked up quickly, with a strange color flashing in his eyes, and said, to have such a fast reaction and speed, their bodies should have evolved. But why are they here to deal with these zombies? The man's face was full of doubts. Zhang Xianjun frowned and thought for a while before saying, maybe, there is someone they are looking for in this hotel. This is the only reason he can think of, and he can't find a better reason. After all, with so many zombies, no one would be bored to kill them for fun. Captain, do you want me to call those people to identify them and see if they know each other? The man asked. No, at this time, We all have to hurry up. You continue to observe the situation. I will discuss with Professor Mu. If you have any questions, come and report at any time, Zhang Xianjun ordered. Yes, the man answered forcefully. Zhang Xianjun did not delay any longer and turned to leave. On the 8th floor, in the room, Lin Xiaoxiao and Ding Ruai had been watching by the window. They felt that the RV was too fierce. Those zombies were like fragile ants in front of the RV and could not withstand being crushed. However, when Lin Xiaoxiao saw the people coming out of the RV, her whole body trembled uncontrollably. Xiaoxiao, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Don't scare me. Ding Ruai saw Lin Xiaoxiao trembling and her eyes red, and asked hurriedly. Ruiya, that's my brother. My brother came to see me. He really came to see me. Lin Xiaoxiao suppressed her inner excitement and pointed at Lin Fan's figure and said. Ah. Your brother? Ding Rui's eyes widened in surprise. Yes. It's my brother. I won't make a mistake, Lin Xiaoxiao nodded firmly. She was very familiar with Lin Fan's appearance. Even if they were not close, she would never make a mistake with Lin Fan. Chapter 73 Wait and see. Xiaoxiao, your brother is so amazing. Not only does he have a car like that, but he is not afraid of killing zombies by himself. Ding Rui's eyes fell on Lin Fan and Muringzhu, and said, the girl next to your brother, is she your sister-in-law? My brother is a single dog, where can I get a sister-in-law? Lin Xiaoxiao also stared at Muringzhu and looked at her. I guess she is a companion my brother met on the way here. Well, no matter what, we have a chance to continue living. Ding Ruai sighed. Lin Xiaoxiao did not speak again. Seeing Lin Fan appear, she was naturally very happy, but she was also worried. There were so many zombies below, and she couldn't help but pray silently in her heart. If she was not afraid that calling Lin Fan would distract Lin Fan, she really wanted to say hello to Lin Fan. Bang! Bang! In the RV, Zhang Yuanzhang also stepped on the accelerator to the bottom, hitting the zombies in front of him fiercely. After he had bumped back and forth twice, Wang Jianwei's face changed and he said quickly, Brother Zhang, look over there. Zhang Yuanzhang looked over and saw a large group of zombies coming over the corner of the road again. Not good. It should be the movement on our side that attracted them. Zhang Yuanzhang frowned. What should we do now? If that group of zombies surrounds here, our situation will be even more dangerous, Wang Jianwei said quickly. Zhang Yuanzhang looked around and made a decision at the moment, saying, we have almost killed all the zombies here. We must stop that group of zombies from coming over. What about Xiaofan and the others? Wang Jianwei glanced at Lin Fan and Murongsu. They can handle it for now. After Zhang Yuanzhang said this, he took a deep breath and stepped on the accelerator again. The RV kept speeding up and drove towards the zombies gathering at the corner of the road. Hearing the sound of the RV, Lin Fan and Murongsu looked over while dealing with the zombies. Sure enough, they attracted other zombies, Lin Fan said. Can they hold them off? Murongsu asked. I don't know, but we have to speed up, otherwise more zombies will gather here, and that will be really troublesome. Lin Fan's tone became more serious. Next, we will slowly approach the hotel gate and find an opportunity to enter the hotel. For the time being, we will not waste time with these zombies. We must first determine the situation inside. With so many zombies gathered here, and the hotel gate was blocked, Lin Fan knew without guessing that there must be some talents in the hotel. At least, he had to go in first to determine Lin Xiaoxiao's safety. Once Lin Xiaoxiao was found, with his and Murongzu's strength, it should not be a big problem to lead Lin Xiaoxiao to break through the siege alone. Kaka! Kaka! Lin Fan and Murongzu were no more than 2 meters apart. They stood side by side, dealing with the zombies while approaching the hotel gate. Roar! 2 sounds that were more piercing than the roars of ordinary zombies came out. Then, Lin Fan clearly saw 2 evolved zombies rushing towards him and Murongzu from the left. He immediately used the ring to read the data of the 2 evolved zombies. Fortunately, their data were all 4, and there was no further improvement. You pay attention to the ordinary zombies around, and leave these 2 to me, Lin Fan said. Okay, Murongzu nodded in response. She believed that Lin Fan would not do anything he was not sure of. Since Lin Fan said so, it meant that Lin Fan was sure that he could deal with the 2 evolved zombies. Roar! Roar! The 2 evolved zombies were not slow, and soon came in front of Lin Fan, opened their mouths and let out unpleasant roars, and pounced on Lin Fan from the left and right. Facing their attack, Lin Fan naturally would not treat it carelessly. His eyes condensed, and his body quickly retreated, perfectly dodging them. Then, Lin Fan held the axe in his hand and began to counterattack. While Lin Fan was fighting with the evolved zombies, Murengzu was responsible for dealing with the ordinary zombies around according to what Lin Fan said. "Captain, that young man is so strong." On the balcony on the second floor, the man who is responsible for observing the situation heard the footsteps coming from behind him, turned around, and saw that it was Zhang Xianjun, and he couldn't help but report. Zhang Xianjun walked to the edge of the balcony and looked at Lin Fan. He was an evolver, so he could tell that the two zombies were not ordinary zombies. Lin Fan was fighting two evolved zombies alone. Not only did he not fall into disadvantage, but he also had a subtle advantage. Such strength is indeed very powerful. He should evolve faster, Zhang Xianjun said slowly. "Yes," the man nodded. "Captain, when will we break out?" "Wait and see." Zhang Xianjun took a closer look and found that several evolved zombies were still gathered at the door of the hotel. If the three evolvers broke out alone, the chance of success would be relatively high. But the problem is that now they not only have other comrades, but most importantly, they have to protect the safety of Mu Guxian and Mu Linger. For them, the four words military orders are like mountains, must be obeyed regardless of whether the doomsday breaks out. Before the doomsday broke out, they received an order to protect Mu Guxian's safety no matter what. What's more, in their opinion, it is impossible that the country has not taken countermeasures for this doomsday disaster. The country may not have recovered at first, but as long as it recovers, it will be able to cope with this disaster. Therefore, scientific research talents like Mu Guxian should be protected at all times. The construction and development of the country are inseparable from them. Xiaoxiao. Look at the second floor. There are still people. Ding Rua has been watching carefully by the window. When she looked around, she suddenly noticed that there was still someone standing on the balcony on the second floor, on the lower left. Hearing this, Lin Xiaoxiao hurriedly looked in the direction Ding Rua pointed, and indeed saw a figure. Could it be them who knocked on the door before? Lin Xiaoxiao asked in confusion. It should be. They are still wearing military uniforms. They can't be bad guys, and the hotel door was blocked, probably by them. Otherwise the zombies outside should have come in long ago. How could they wait until now? Ding Ruaya said quickly. Then should we go down and join them? Lin Xiaoxiao blinked. Ding Ruaya was obviously also very tempted by this proposal, but she turned back to look outside the door and said, "But I wonder if there are still zombies outside the door." "There shouldn't be any. We haven't heard any unusual sounds in the past few days. Why don't we open the door and take a look? If we are sure there are no zombies, then we will go to the second floor to meet them," Lin Xiaoxiao said. "Okay," Ding Ruaya nodded quickly. The two girls immediately walked towards the door. Chapter 74 Brother and Sister Meet. With excitement and anticipation, Lin Xiaoxiao opened the door very gently and slowly pushed it open a crack. After listening carefully to the noise outside and making sure that she didn't hear any other sounds, she pushed the door open a little and stuck her head out to check. Ding Ruaya stood behind, clenching her hands tightly together, seeming to be more nervous than Lin Xiaoxiao. After seeing Lin Xiaoxiao sticking her head out to observe, she hurriedly asked in a low voice, "Xiaoxiao, how is it? Have you seen any zombies?" Lin Xiaoxiao retracted her neck, shook her head and said, "No, it seems that all of them were killed by those people. You can take a look." Ding Ruaya walked up and looked around, and saw that the bodies of those zombies were lying on the ground. Their heads were either chopped off or killed by headshots. There should be no zombies. Let's pack up our things quickly, take the food with us, and then go down to meet up with those people. When your brother comes in, he can find you first, Ding Ruaya said. Okay, Lin Xiaoxiao nodded, and the two quickly packed up. After packing up, they opened the door and walked out. Soon, the two of them came to the balcony on the second floor without any obstacles. Zhang Xianjun happened to look back and saw them. "Why haven't I seen you before?" Zhang Xianjun frowned. "Where did you come from?" There were only dozens of survivors in this hotel. He remembered everyone's appearance very clearly. He had never seen Lin Xiaoxiao and Ding Ruaya before. "We just came down from upstairs," Lin Xiaoxiao said. Upstairs, Zhang Xianjun's eyes showed a hint of doubt. "Before, our people knocked on the door of every room. We heard knocking, but we thought it was zombies, so we didn't respond. This is our first time out," Lin Xiaoxiao said. "Okay," Zhang Xianjun didn't dwell on this issue too much. As long as Lin Xiaoxiao and Ding Ruai were not zombies, it would be fine. After a pause, he continued, however, I have to inform you that we may break out later. At that time, zombies may pour in. You can choose to break out with us, or you can choose to stay here. I'm waiting for my brother, Lin Xiaoxiao replied. Waiting for your brother? Zhang Xianjun shook his head. Although I don't know who your brother is, the current situation is very clear. The doomsday outbreak has affected the whole world. Are you sure he can come here? He's already here, Lin Xiaoxiao said. Already here? Zhang Xianjun's expression was slightly condensed. Yes, he's dealing with the zombies down there now, Lin Xiaoxiao nodded. Hearing this, Zhang Xianjun suddenly reacted. You mean, the young man down there is your brother, and he came here specifically to find you? Yeah, Lin Xiaoxiao nodded again. Zhang Xianjun and the man next to him looked at each other, and both of them saw a sudden realization in each other's eyes. No wonder they came here to deal with the zombies, so this is what happened, the man said. Before, they had never understood why someone would take the initiative to deal with such a large number of zombies, and now they finally figured out the whole story. Your brother is very strong. Zhang Xianjun looked at Lin Xiaoxiao and pondered, if he comes to find you, he may be able to take you out. Captain, look, the man suddenly said. Zhang Xianjun looked at Lin Fan, only to see Lin Fan holding an axe, pressing the two evolved zombies to attack. In a blink of an eye, he found the best time to kill. Crack! The axe chopped out horizontally, hitting the neck of an evolved zombie squarely, and the rotten head flew out immediately. After dealing with one, Lin Fan did not stop at all, and continued to chop at the other with the axe in his hand. The evolved zombie had no time to avoid it and waved his arms to resist. The axe fell, and the two arms broke with a sound. Lin Fan's eyes flashed, and he raised the axe from bottom to top, and the axe blade accurately hit the zombie's chin, splitting the entire head in half with the chin as the center. What a rich combat experience! Seeing this scene with his own eyes, Zhang Xianjun couldn't help but sigh. He himself is a captain of the special forces, and his experience in combat can be said to be quite rich. But even so, he admired Lin Fan's performance. If it were him, he might not be able to take down the two evolved zombies in such a short time. Captain. They are speeding up towards the gate. Are they going to come in first? After the man noticed that Lin Fan had dealt with the two evolved zombies, he and Murinzu quickly approached the direction of the hotel gate and made a bold guess. It's very likely. Zhang Xianjun nodded. Let's go to the first floor first. Lin Fan and Murinzu continued to attack the zombies, and the swings of axes and machetes were accompanied by the falling of zombie heads. When we get closer, you go up first, and I will follow behind, Lin Fan said quickly. Yes, Murinzu nodded in response. The two hacked and killed zombies all the way to the door. When Lin Fan was dealing with the zombies around him, Murinzu seized the opportunity, jumped up, grabbed the door with both hands, and quickly flipped over. Lin Fan swung his axe and dealt with the four zombies approaching in front of him, and also flipped over the door with agility. Since the gate was blocked very firmly by Zhang Xianjun and others, after they got to the top, they walked a few steps along the blockage and jumped down. At this time, Zhang Xianjun and others also walked out of the hall. Seeing so many figures, Lin Fan was not surprised. Before entering here, he had guessed that there must be many people here, otherwise they would not have been able to hold on for so long. Brother, in the crowd, a petite figure walked to the front, staring at Lin Fan, and shouted excitedly. Xiaoxiao, hearing the shout, Lin Fan looked in the direction of the sound. When he saw the girl's appearance clearly, even though he had lived a new life, he couldn't help but get excited. You know, in the last life, before the doomsday, he hadn't seen Lin Xiaoxiao for a long time. After the doomsday, he didn't know Lin Xiaoxiao's news for a long time, and he couldn't even know whether Lin Xiaoxiao was alive or dead. It was equivalent to that it took him so long to reunite with Lin Xiaoxiao. Brother, I miss you so much. Lin Xiaoxiao's eyes were red, and she ran to Lin Fan, hugged Lin Fan, and tears flowed down. After her parents passed away, Lin Fan was her only relative. After experiencing an unexpected event like the doomsday, how could she not miss Lin Fan? Brother misses you too. Lin Fan reached out and touched Lin Xiaoxiao's head, saying lovingly, don't cry, don't cry. You are such a big girl, and others will laugh at you if you cry. Lin Xiaoxiao sobbed twice and wiped her tears with her fingers. Murinzu stood behind and watched this scene, and also smiled slightly. If another woman hugged Lin Fan like this, she would definitely be jealous, but Lin Xiaoxiao was Lin Fan's sister, so naturally there would be no such problems. Chapter 75. What's the relationship? Zhang Xianjun saw that Lin Xiaoxiao's mood had stabilized, so he walked up to Lin Fan and said, "Hello, my name is Zhang Xianjun." "Hello." Lin Fan reached out and patted Lin Xiaoxiao on the back, and said hello to Zhang Xianjun. Lin Xiaoxiao stood next to him very obediently. Lin Fan smiled and said, "Thank you for taking measures to block this place." The moment he saw Zhang Xianjun just now, Lin Fan felt that Zhang Xianjun had an extraordinary momentum. He had quickly read Zhang Xianjun's data with a ring and confirmed that this guy was an evolver. Moreover, what surprised him was that Zhang Xianjun's strength and speed data had reached 6, and only his reaction was 5. Judging from the data, Zhang Xianjun was actually higher than him. "You're welcome. We didn't know your sister was up there before. She and her friends just came down to meet us." Zhang Xianjun knew what Lin Fan was thanking him for, and told the truth. "Oh." Lin Fan tilted his head and glanced at Lin Xiaoxiao. "Brother, didn't you tell me to stay in the room and not to open the door no matter what?" Lin Xiaoxiao said. Lin Fan smiled suddenly and finally understood. Zhang Xianjun couldn't help but feel confused after hearing what Lin Xiaoxiao said. From Lin Xiaoxiao's words, it seemed that Lin Fan knew the end of the world in advance, so he informed Lin Xiaoxiao. However, he didn't think about this problem carefully at this moment. The most urgent thing was to leave here first. "Brother Lin, we are trapped here now. Why don't we discuss it together and see if there is any way to leave more safely?" Zhang Xianjun asked. He had seen the strength of Lin Fan and Murinzu. If Lin Fan and Murinzu joined, then there was no doubt that they would have a greater chance of getting out. Lin Fan narrowed his eyes. "Let's talk to the side, okay?" Zhang Xianjun nodded. The two walked to the other side. "Do you want to rescue all these people?" Lin Fan asked directly. "If it is possible, then I really hope so," Zhang Xianjun replied. "It's difficult, very difficult," Lin Fan still said directly. "There are still many evolved zombies outside, about 10 or so. Let's not talk about the problem of dealing with them. Just say that ordinary zombies are still gathering here continuously. Even if I have other teammates driving to stop them, I can't stop so many. To put it bluntly, even if you let them leave this hotel, they don't know where to go, or they will die in the mouths of zombies immediately after they go out." Lin Fan's words were very direct, and even determined the life and death of these people. Zhang Xianjun was silent after listening to it. After several seconds, he said, "We can only let them accept their fate. If they have a chance to escape, it's because they are lucky. If they don't have a chance, there is nothing we can do. However, we must protect Professor Mu and his granddaughter." While speaking, Zhang Xianjun glanced at Mu Guoxian and Mu Linger, and introduced Mu Guoxian's identity to Lin Fan. Lin Fan didn't expect that there was such a powerful person here. It has to be said that this kind of scientific research talent can indeed play a big role in the doomsday. "If we protect 2 people, the problem should not be too big," Lin Fan said. "Brother Lin, how do you think we can break out better?" Zhang Xianjun asked. From the car modified by Lin Fan and others, to the strength shown by Lin Fan and Murinzu, and the guns on them. All of this tells Zhang Xianjun that Lin Fan is not a simple person. Especially in the case of the outbreak of the doomsday, he can still bring a team here alone to rescue Lin Xiaoxiao, which further proves Lin Fan's strength. Although he is the captain of the special forces, he will not look down on Lin Fan's opinions just because he is young. In this case, I personally think that the best way is to break out at the same time in 2 directions, so that the zombies can be divided into 2 groups and reduce a certain amount of pressure, Lin Fan said. "That is, break out by force in 2 groups, Zhang Xianjun's eyes condensed slightly. "Yes, there is really no other good way except to break through by force." Lin Fan raised his lips and said, "The most important thing is that we have to hurry up. If we continue to delay, and my teammates can't hold back, and the zombies gather again, maybe we won't have a chance to leave here again." Lin Fan was not sure how long Zhang Yuan's hang could hold back the zombies, but there was a high probability that he could not hold them back. After all, the number of zombies was too large. The RV could hold back the zombies on that road, but it could not hold back the zombies gathering from other places. "Okay, let's get ready to go out now," Zhang Xianjun said. Wait, Lin Fan interrupted, let me try to see if I can get rid of a few evolved zombies with a sniper rifle. After he finished speaking, Lin Fan ran towards the courtyard wall without delay and quickly climbed up the wall. He took the sniper rifle on his back in his hand, and through the sniper scope, he quickly locked onto the head of an evolved zombie. Bang! Without any hesitation, after locking the target, Lin Fan pulled the trigger. With the sound of the gunshot, a bullet flew out quickly and headed straight for the head of the evolved zombie. The speed of the sniper bullet was very fast, and the evolved zombie itself did not react. Therefore, in a blink of an eye, its head was blasted by the bullet. After getting rid of an evolved zombie, Lin Fan turned his sight, locked the next evolved zombie, and pulled the trigger in the same way. Bang! Bang! After getting rid of 3 evolved zombies in the same way, the remaining evolved zombies have become alert. They began to shuttle between ordinary zombies, and no longer stood still or moved slowly like before. Lin Fan also stood on the courtyard wall and walked around, as if he was taking a test of sports shooting. However, this kind of sports shooting is indeed very difficult, not to mention that it is a sniper rifle. There are so many ordinary zombies blocking, and the chance of hitting is not very high. While Lin Fan was dealing with the evolved zombies, Lin Xiaoxiao walked up to Murengzu, stretched out her hand and said, "Call me Lin Xiaoxiao, Murengzu." Murengzu stretched out her hand and shook it in a friendly manner. "Sister Muren, you are so beautiful," Lin Xiaoxiao praised. "Thank you," Murengzu smiled slightly, "you are also very beautiful." Women all want to hear compliments from others, even if they know that they are beautiful. Moreover, women are inherently competitive, and being able to hear compliments from a beautiful woman is definitely more enjoyable than hearing compliments from 10 men. Lin Xiaoxiao glanced at Lin Fan on the wall with her beautiful eyes and asked in a low voice, "By the way, Sister Muren, what is your relationship with my brother?" End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.